Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and I'm here with my brother Miguda. Miguda, bari ya jioni.
Niko salama kakangu, ujambo?
Niko mzuri, labda kutoka kwako mapya.
Niko mzuri sana, mapya tunazidi kuyangoja. Ikipatana ni sawa, dili
Ehe.
kivana itakuwa hivyo, isipoivana pia tupo area.
Okay, asante sana. Unajua leo kule Amerikani ni siku ya kupiga kura, na nadhani kesho tutajua nani ni rais mpya wa Amerikani, na kupiga kura kwao ni tofauti na sisi sana. Kwa sababu naweza sema kwa lugha ya Kimombo, with us we don't do electronic voting, you know. We are in Kenya, we are identified electronically, but we vote manually. Do you know that?
I know that we are being identified
Yeah.
electronically through BVR.
Yes.
Now voting is manual.
Yeah. So voting is manual. That is the difference. And another different uh, kitu ambacho tena ni cha tofauti sana is about how the voting usually takes place here. Because we have early voting, those who vote early, you can even vote 6 months or 1 year before the election. Those are there. Uh, then there is mail voting. These are voting that is done by mail. Yeah, you will get a mail in your mailbox, and you will fill in. Yeah, after filling in, then you send it back. So, and majority of people, I think, have done it by mail. If you are very keen, in the last time they competed with Joe Biden, Trump and Joe Biden, by then Trump was incumbent. The mail voting was at a higher rate as compared to the walking voting. So that's how it works. So there's um, early voting, mail voting, then there's a walk-in that takes place. And if you're very keen, what you will see is immediately after the closing of the election, the first vote to be counted or the first results to be shown will be the walk-in. Then the following day, you will start to see the ones that were done by the mail voting and the early votings, and it's each and every region or each and every state has their own election laws on how they govern. Especially when you're competing, there's that margin. If let's say you're competing with somebody and there's a margin or percentage you have to get. If you don't get that percentage, then it will go for manual. Now they will count the vote manually because they might think of that was an error in the counting. So things are quite much different. Mike Obodi, thank you so much. Tuambie unatupata ukiwa wapi. So that is something that we will be following, and I will try my level best to stream, especially from tomorrow. I will stream the results so that we can see how it goes. And if you're joining us, just let us know where you're joining us from and your comment on what is taking place. And that is one thing that I would say. Maybe if you have something new.
I can confirm that the electoral process of the United States of America is a bit different from the Kenyan system and
Yeah.
is more of a bit advanced compared to our system.
Yeah.
Because as we have one, but the process of election is very clear in our country that elections, most of presidential elections, is final at polling station. I think in the United States of America, you said that with the states have different laws or regulations, and now elections are being conducted in different states. Whereas we have only one law that regulate all polling stations, and we wanted to introduce some laws in our amendment of the IBC Elections Act, whereby we wanted to introduce that election can be done at the county level. Now we have removed it from the constituency level to county level. So it's a bit different from the system in Kenya and more of advanced. And I don't know whether the process is transparent Unlike ours, is never transparent.
Yeah, the process is so much transparent because one thing is immediately the result come out, everybody will see it because it is from that polling station. That's where they get the result, and you cannot manipulate. Remember what really happened during the Joe Biden and Trump, where Trump was insisting that there was rigged. There was I thought that was rigged, and they ended up even attacking the Capitol Hill. But I think investigation was done, and those claims were not true. Remember, he also had an issue at Georgia where he was calling the Secretary of State. Actually, the Secretary of State, they're the people that are in charge of elections. They're called the Secretary of the State. Remember when Trump called somebody and he just say, we need only like certain amount of votes because actually the Georgia last time it's usually a red state and it turned blue. Joe Biden won Georgia in the last general election, so it turned blue, but it has always been a red state, and that one gave Joe Biden the win, especially. So, and now as we go into this election, it's those are like some of the states that they are very focused on. We are looking at, is Georgia going to maintain the blue to be blue, or is going back to the red? Because historically Georgia has been a red state, so that is one thing that also will determine the who is going to be the president. That is one. There's also what we call the swing states. These states, they're neither blue or red. Yeah, but they usually change depending on who is the president. Sometimes it can go red, sometimes it can go blue, but they are the determinant, you know. So those are now some of the things that also you have to watch. Another thing that also you have to look at in the U.S. election, there's what we call the undecided voters. So there are those voters that usually decide to vote on the last day. Yeah, they usually make big difference. You know, they usually say that okay, I don't know who to vote for. I don't know who to vote for, but at the last hour they make those decisions. But as I was looking some polls, they were saying, I'm not very sure that the late deciders are leaning towards Kamala Harris, but the results or the polls, it's a tight race. You cannot call who is going to win. So there's so many determinants. There's so many indicators that is going to um, uh, determine who is going to be the president. That is one. There's also what we call the college electoral votes. Yeah, that is also very important because these college electoral votes are in the states. Yeah, so these are what determines somebody to be the president. You can have the popular votes. Remember, Hillary Clinton had the popular votes, but when it came to electoral college vote, she lost to Trump. So that is quite much different with what we have in Kenya. So those are some of the things that we will be looking at, and as the times goes, we will come here and at least try to explain some of it. Then another thing, also another issue that also will determine the votes also is about the the immigrants. You know, how are they going to vote? Yeah, and also the indigenous of America. So it depends. So there are so many things that will uh, will determine the result that is coming. So thank you so much, Makobura. Okay, sawa sawa. So thank you so much. So we will be bringing in those, and that's what it is for America. But today is the voting day. and each and every polling station will be closing quite much differently. You will find that the New York might close at around 5, then other states, due to the time differences, they so that's what will also determine. So there's so many things that brings into election and voting of the United States. Thank you so much, Mark Miguda.
Are you going to vote? Or you have voted by email?
No, I'm going to vote immediately after this. I'm going to vote, and my polling station is just across where I live, so it doesn't take me. And remember, also, when you're going to work, you are allowed to be given 2 hours for voting. Yeah, so that is something that is there. So there's that provision. So your employer cannot tell you you should not vote. He has to give you those 2 hours, but you have to let them know in advance that I will be voting at this particular time. Then they will give you those 2 hours. You can go and vote and come back to work. So that is also there. Yes. Do you have anything to say about that? Okay, so that's what is there. Makobura Barigani.
Niko salama, nashukuru. I can
Yeah,
see you started the conversation, and that's a good thing.
yeah.
It's good that you are educating us on the elections which are going on in the United States of America.
Mhm.
Uh, I know you are there, and you'll give us the update as it happens. Uh, and we hope. I don't want to say who I'm supporting. I mean, the candidate that I'm supporting here.
Yeah.
But we wish them all the best.
Mhm.
Let the people of America decide,
Oh, yeah.
and whoever takes the day, we will just congratulate.
Okay. Thank you so much. And today we wanted to discuss something about Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, and we wanted to compare and contrast about these young gentlemen of Kenya, because they're people of interest. And before we go into that, there's something.
Maybe there's a friend of mine who is a lawyer at the. I've just invited him at the background. Allow me to give him a
Okay.
chance. Yes, good evening, Wakili. Wakili, good evening. How are you?
Yes, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay.
Mko salama?
Tuko salama. This
Yes.
is brother Benson Media, and
Uh-huh.
here we always discuss issues affecting the people of Kenya, and we
Yes.
just give our opinion. We are actually welcoming you to also give your opinion on issues affecting us as a country.
Yes, I've just joined. I don't know which issues you're talking about. So maybe you can fill me in first.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Wakili, for joining, and we are very, very, very much glad to have you on the show. Today um, we wanted to give our thoughts and opinion on Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, and this was informed uh, on how they've been invisible, especially from the initiation of Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, and um, and uh, and their political uh, careers, uh, due to the fact that they are still very young politicians. They're still young in the politics, and it seems that they have uh, they have a lot of young. So we wanted to look at if in case they have any alliance, how will that one affect the political of the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto. That is one of the issues. Secondly, because you are somebody in the legal profession, maybe when time comes, we might uh, ask you some question dealing with the legal matters so that you can share with us, so with our viewers, so that we can know. So that is, in a nutshell, what we are going to discuss. I think you're muted.
Individuals. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. My opinion is that these two young individuals, as you have mentioned, they are very young, they are very new to the political field. And the reason they have gone quiet is because of instructions from their masters. You cannot be out there speaking if your master is not speaking. If they would be speaking, they would go the Rigiji way. There's a reason why Ruto has been very quiet about it. He has not been commenting anything about it. And I think that is why Ndindi and Babu are equally quiet. They are following the footsteps of their masters. There's something their master knows, there's something they know,
Yeah.
and that is one thing they have not told us. So we just have to wait for them to come and tell us.
So when will that one be? Because there's a speculation that these young men um, might be charting their own political path, um, moving away from the old boys, especially the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that is Babu Owino. He's a strong supporter, and as you know, Ndindi Nyoro was also a good supporter of William Ruto. So they are trying to move from their umbrella and chart their political path for 2027, and maybe in 2032 they might go for the higher office.
Yes, it is still very early to start campaigning.
Yeah.
I think they're just strategizing. They're trying to put their heads together. They're trying to chart a way forward. When the time is right, they will come.
Okay. Thank you. So, MCOBURA, you can take over.
Okay, thank you. I think now that Wakili is here, we've been having so many questions, especially on the issue of impeachment of Rigiji. We understand that there are some other legal ways that he can still, that can still help him. He's still fighting. He's not really left the show. And so I just wanted the Wakili to clarify if there are other avenues that Rigiji still has that can save him or politically make him be understood in the politics of Kenya. And again, if you can clarify for us what it means by impeachment, and if someone is impeached, especially in the caliber of the deputy president, what then follows? And the constitution, I think from my understanding, says that he cannot, and he cannot go for any political office. He cannot be nominated anywhere. So if he can clarify that, I think our viewers has been asking such questions.
I think you're muted, Wakili. Wakili is muted. I don't know why you keep on muting.
Did you unmute him?
No, I did not.
Okay, let me unmute him.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, there
Yes,
you
you
go.
can go on, Wakili.
Hope you can hear me. On the issue of impeachment, once you are impeached from any electoral seat, you cannot contest for any other seat. Even if you are deputy president or a president, you cannot become even an MCA. You are persona non grata to any elective seat, any other elective seat. Same measure, you have lost all your retirement benefits, you have lost all your pension, you have lost everything that accrues to any former head of state or deputy head of state. So it's a very tricky situation for the PG. Even if he thinks he's the king of the mountain,
Mhm.
the mountain cannot elect. Cannot
Okay.
even in his own village.
Your volume is kind of too low.
Yes, and the other issue is that he's claiming that he wants to go to court and overturn the process. If you have been keen in the political scene, you have noticed the sentiment
Wakili,
of the
you're not
president.
very clear. I don't know. Your volume keeps fluctuating.
Fluctuating. Okay. Yes, I was talking about the issue of going to court.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have been very keen in the election, in the electoral scene in Kenya, in the current times, in the last week or so, or even in the recent speech from the President of the Republic of Kenya, where he was talking to the President of the Judiciary, Martha Koome. They essentially say that political issues should be dealt with politically and judicial issues should be dealt with according to the law. And in essence, what Ruto was trying to say was that the judiciary is interfering with his agenda or what he's trying to do for the country, and it cannot continue that way. In a sense, it is sort of a threat, but it is also a fact.
Mm.
If you read what is happening or if you see what is happening, the judiciary is stopping all the projects started by the government. But in the last 2 weeks, there has been a turnaround
Yeah.
from SHA to the housing project to the taxes. The judiciary has taken a U-turn on all of them. Everything that was being said as bad, it is now being said that let us just give it a chance to see where it will lead us or where it will take us. And I think it is a very sad state of affairs because where is the common mwananchi supposed to seek redress? Are you supposed to go back to the streets?
Mhm.
And even if you go back to the streets, what will you achieve? So I think it is a very sad state of affairs for Rigiji.
Mm.
I think his die is cast, and the best he can do is try and look for someone else and back so that he can continue his political career through proxy, not through himself, because his die is cast and there is nowhere he's going. He might have been very powerful in the past or still thinks he's very powerful, but the future does not look good for him. Yes, those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me engage you on the court case, that the hearing that will be going on the case of Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president. In the event that during the ruling, the judges find that there were some violations of constitution or the violations of the process were there, and he might, or if he wins the case, in that scenario, what will happen?
I think what will happen is that circumstances will have been overtaken by events. We already have a sitting deputy president.
Mhm.
There is someone who is being paid and he has an office and there is staff, and by the time the case ends, it will be too late for him. The case can last in court for even 3 or 4 years. By that time, we'll be going to another election. Even if they make the determination that he was his rights were violated, what remedies will he be given? And who will give him those remedies? It is a very sad state of affairs for Rigiji.
Okay, but do you think, like, in that scenario, in any case, he won the case, and talking about the remedies, can the courts reward him for compensation in terms of monetary value, or even to clear him out of that charge of impeachment?
I think it is very unlikely. It is very unlikely that the court reaches such kind of determination. But in the unlikely circumstance, I can give you a few examples. There were governors who contested in 2017. The governors who contested the election, I think the Narok governor and the Bungoma governor. The cases ended a year to the next election. The determination that was made was that the correct procedure of elections was not followed, but the election cannot be repeated because another election is about to be held. I don't think Rigathi will be cleared of all those allegations that were favored against him, but in the likely circumstance that they clear him, I don't think they will allow him to contest for any other seat. Case in point, in the manner in which they removed him, it was so rushed, it was so unprocedural. Even if you are not a lawyer, you can clearly know something is not right.
Wakili, I have a question on that.
Yes.
You know, you're a professional and you're also a lawyer. We've been having conversations here, and most of our panelists have always said that if they do the analysis of how the whole thing was done, even a layman can say that it was rushed and that we feel, and not we, I mean the voices that we've had here, most of them say that, you know, they feel that the due law process was not followed. From where you sit and with the legal knowledge that you have, what would you say? Like, how would you rate the whole process?
In my view, it was unprocedural, but it is a political process. We cannot interfere with politics. The politicians have their own objective, the judges have their own objective, they have their own points of view, they will not see things the same way. That is why Rigathi and his team were saying that they will rush to the judiciary to seek redress. If you watch the proceedings in Parliament and in Senate, you could clearly see that even before they voted, the outcome was predetermined.
Okay, before I bring in Miguda, Wakili, I want you also to assist us here. There's this issue that came during the hearing, what recusal, whereby the petitioners were asking that the judges, the three-judge bench, should recuse themselves on the case that was there. But you find that they were putting that before the judges themselves to recuse themselves. The judges, the same judges you are asking to recuse themselves, are the same judges you are putting the matter before them. Then how will the outcome be if you are asking me to recuse myself and at the same time I'm the only person who is going to make that judgment? How does it work, especially in the legal or in the law profession?
Yes, we have a hierarchy of the courts.
Yeah.
There is someone who is in charge of all the courts. There is someone who can make decisions. There is a superior court you can rush to if you are aggrieved by a decision from an inferior court. That is how it works. But what you've asked, I can give you an analogy. What you've said is essentially, are you a fan of football?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you cannot play for both teams, and you cannot also be the referee and the linesman and be a player at the same time. I think that is what you're trying to ask.
Yeah.
Yes. So what Rigiji was trying to say
Mm.
was that the three-judge bench constituted constituted themselves and decided that they have the powers to determine that case, which in my view is very wrong. And his legal team should have advised him appropriately on that, because you cannot be judge, jury, and executioner at the same time. You have to choose what role you're playing. Are you deciding the case? Are you going to be an appellate court? Are you going to do what? You cannot be everything at the same time. I think on that point you're very right. Yes.
So, are there mechanisms that can be put in place such that if I feel in a way that there's a way in which you as a judge or a justice in that kind of the bench, there's a way in which I feel that you cannot deliver my case based on allegation that I have against you. Can a judge just decide by himself that I say, okay, I'm accused of this, let me recuse myself without even listening to that case?
Yes. Recusal is provided for under the law.
Yeah.
A judge can recuse himself either on application by a party in a case or on his own volition.
Mhm.
If there is conflict of interest, or there is bias, or there is public interest, if there is any feeling that you have that can make you feel that you are not suitable to listen to a case, you need to recuse yourself.
Okay. And on the comment section today, we have Wakili here. If you have anything to do with legal matters that you'd want to know the answers, be just write it on the comment section, because we have Wakili here. Wakili will assist us to answer some of the questions that uh, we've been struggling here with, especially us who do not have a legal background. So feel welcome to ask those questions, and we will be very, very, very much glad to answer. Makobura, maybe if you can engage me good on some questions. I'm still looking at something here.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ben. Maybe as you are looking for the question, to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Today we are glad that we have Wakili in the house. So if you have any legal question that you'd want him to address, he's still here. He'll be able to handle that. Yeah, to Mr. Miguda. Mr. Miguda, today, the topic was Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro. They are like a political threat to the seniors that we currently have. That is the political party run by the government, by William Samoei Ruto, and the one run by Raila Amolo Odinga. The issue here is, these young men are coming together, and they've shown some defiance. I think a clarification of that we can get it from what we saw in during the impeachment, partly during the finance bill. Babu Owino clearly stated that the issue of impeachment is, to him, it is something that does not concern the people of Kenya, and it does not really add value. And that, from his comments, he was simply saying that they have serious business that they can do in that house, but not impeachment. So my question to you is, if you saw the tweet of Babu, both in his social media, that is the Facebook and Twitter, there's something that he posted about Ndindi Nyoro, that he should stand firm and that he should not lose focus. We've seen them having similar behavior. Sometimes back, we saw them, visiting parts of this country together. So my question to you is, are you seeing a possibility of these two, that is Ndindi Nyoro and Babu Owino, coming together? And should they come together, remember that they're trying to defy, the odds. They're trying to go against the political instructions of their seniors. Where do you think they can end with this game, Mr. Miguda? Maybe before you come in, allow me to inform our friend, the learned Wakili here, that you're also Wakili. So maybe your friends, mtajiita learned friends. Yeah, maybe you can give us your opinion on that.
Thank you so much, MCOBURA. And I'm glad that you have also learned council, but I have not heard his name. Maybe if you may.
Yes, I presume you're my senior. My name is Chiriswa.
Okay, thank you, Kireso. I'm looking forward to
Brother Ben, maybe maybe before they proceed, I think we should just leave the the studio, because I think you can hear the conversation has changed. It is now my senior, it is now my learned friend. Where should we go? Anyway, proceed, Mr.
Okay.
Miguda.
I am looking forward to meeting you soon, and we'll have an engageful meeting. MCOBURA, you have asked about the two young politicians in the country, and in my view, I believe that these are friends, and there's no problem with friends meeting together, friends chatting their own political way. So they do not owe anyone apology or explanations why they are friends, because sometimes you find yourself being a friend to someone, like we are friends with you. We do not owe anyone any apology for us being friends. The issue you have asked about the finance bill and also the impeachment process of Rigathi Gachagua, the two friends have found themselves in a situation whereby they have defied the instruction from their bosses because of their political interest and their political formations. But in the issue of finance bill, I found out that Babu Owino voted yes, voted no. Ndindi Nyoro voted yes. So they were not in the same view of the finance bill. But when it comes to the impeachment process of the deputy president, former, they failed to participate in the process. All of them were absent in the parliament, had anything. Babu Owino just said that there was so much of his duty to undertake in Embakasi's constituency. Yes, so he cannot waste his precious time to discuss the impeachment process of a deputy president. I will view it that these two people, maybe they are resonating so well with the youth, they resonate so well with the young people of the Kenyan and the future. Currently, they are most of the young people in the legislature, so they might be viewed as the future leaders of this country. And you understand that the impeachment process was unpopular in Nairobi and also outside Nairobi, even in Kenya and partly some part of the country. So since the impeachment process was unpopular, they have decided not to participate in it because they are looking maybe
Oh, okay.
political events in the country. The Babu Owino has been viewed as someone who is resonating so well with the young people. Vis-a-vis Ndindi Nyoro also resonates so well with the young people. Ndindi Nyoro has gone even resonating so well with the elders. The two people coming together, they are friends and they shared ideologies and maybe they shared some common goals as young people. So it could be a betrayal for the young people because they are representatives of the young people in that assembly. So if they could have participated in the impeachment process, it could be viewed as more of a betrayal to young people. Not only young people, even the people from Mount Kenya, that to add on Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro has been viewed that he is a future leader of that region. So there was no need of him participating in a process where one of them was being chased away. That's why we have said that this is a political process. Impeachment was a political process. And if it was a political process, as a politician, you need to take a decision. Either you align with the decision or you agree with the decision. So the two people decided to dissent the decision because it's a political process, and the young people, they are looking far. For now, we don't know what might unfold because there might be some disciplinary measures taken to them by their party leaders. But that is just politics. It's normal. You need to know how to survive.
Okay, thank you so much, MCOBURA. Let me MCOBURA. Let me engage Wakili on issue here. That is, I think our viewers will also want to know about conservatory order. Some of us were getting to know of these terms during this impeachment, Wakili. And one thing that I would want to know from you and share with our viewers about the conservatory order, and how long should conservatory order stay? That is one. Then secondly, I want to bring to your attention on the issue, especially that made the conservatory order to be vacated, was that the constitution gave powers to the office of the deputy president. That those functions that were given to the office of the deputy president by the constitution, and there are those functions that can be assigned by the president. So due to the fact that there is the functions that are given by the constitution, and the constitution is made for the people, so that one made the conservatory order to be vacated. So at what point do we weigh the one in the constitution and the one that the public, or let's say the view of the public, based on what the public is saying, to override that? Ama wakili ametoka.
There are two, so you'd have
Oh,
clarified
Sure.
the one that you are now
Sure.
engaging.
Sorry, MIGUDA. Sorry, wakili Kriswa.
Orders. What do you want to know about conservatory orders?
Yes. How long?
How long should it be?
Yes.
Until other orders are given vacating the conservatory orders. That is how long they should last.
Okay. Then, based on what was said on the constitution, especially that the office of the deputy president has been given function, yeah, by the constitution. So the office cannot stay for long, and that what might create crisis. How is that one about? Is it possible, or it was just like a predetermined, based to the fact that there was still days that is allowed by the constitution of 74 days for that office to remain vacant?
Mhm. In my view, I think that is a very gray area.
Yeah.
And I think Ruto is a very smart individual.
Mhm.
He has lived in this country. He knows what happened to Governor Mike Sonko. There's someone who was called Mike Sonko. He was the governor of Nairobi. He was supposed to appoint a deputy governor. He appointed Miguna Miguna. Miguna Miguna was exiled to Canada and he could not take office. And in the preceding days, Uhuru Kenyatta decided to appoint an army general to take over Nairobi because he felt like Mike Sonko was not doing what he was supposed to do. So I think William Ruto is a very smart politician and he learned from other people's mistakes. He didn't want to make the same mistakes. It could be a very costly mistake. You cannot remove a deputy and remain without a deputy, because who is supposed to take over if something happens to you? Yes, I think that is my view.
Okay, thank you so much. MCOBURA, let me drop. Then you can continue.
Okay, thank you, Brother Benson. And to our viewers, I just want to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. If you are new, you can like, you can subscribe. If you subscribe, it would be a way of supporting us. We will really, really appreciate. Yeah, so Wakili, there's a question that I also wanted to hear from you. I wanted to hear your take on is, you know, the before when we were before the impeachment, the deputy president had several options, either to resign, but I think his lawyers advised him not to resign. And so, if you hear what people are saying, either in social media, just the opinion of the people, they're saying that he was misled by his lawyers because now he has lost so much. He has lost, he cannot hold any office. He has gone home without any retirement benefits. And if you also hear what people are saying is that the lawyers believed that they were going to win this case, and that is why they advised their client, that is the former deputy president, not to resign. And so my question to you is, with them advising the deputy president not to resign, what is it that they were seeing? What grounds were they going to either invoke so that they ensure that the deputy president would not then risk losing all these benefits, the benefits like the retirement package, not holding any office, because currently it's become very irrelevant. When someone cannot hold any office, someone cannot, go for any elective position, and yet they're politicians, that means a lot. So my question is, why would they advise him not to resign? Because from where personally I see it, maybe he would have resigned and maybe fight another day. What was so tough for him that made them to proceed with the whole case? Because you'll also clarify for us if there is any legal measure that they can use to ensure that he comes back. I think you clarify that. So just tell us what can happen. I mean, what they had in mind from your perspective.
Yes, I think their lawyers did not misadvise him. They were relying on two things: public participation and the correct procedure for impeachment. Public participation one was not carried out, and if it was carried out, it was stage managed. Whatever happened at Bomas is not public participation because it was spearheaded by the government. We even saw Morara Kebaso try to make way there, and he was pushed out by goons. So it was stage managed, it was not public participation. The correct procedure was also not followed. So his legal team, if they went to court, they would rely on those two things, which is what everyone usually relies on when they are fighting against the government. A good case is Okiya Omtata. When he goes to court, he just relies on these two things alone. And he usually wins most of his cases based on these two things. On the issue of resignation, I don't know. He was in a very tough place. He was doomed if he did, and he was doomed if he did not. Before his impeachment, he had no staff, he had no access to his office. He was already pushed out before it was official that he was removed as the deputy president. So I don't think there is anything much he could do. And on the issue of if he wants to come back, even if the courts are supposed to reinstate him, who is he going to work with? Everyone does not want to work with you. Even if you're told to go back to your office, what are you going to do? You're not going to work alone. You need to work with people. And those people don't want to work with you. Even if you are reinstated, you're in a very tough position. There's nothing you're going to do. Yes, that is my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Wakili. I'm still coming back to you. You've spoken about the issue of public participation. if you keenly followed the reason among the reasons why the BBI was not accepted by the court, they argued that the public participation was not done according to what the constitution says. And again, the issue of the finance bill, the 2023, the 2024, the same court also said that public participation was not done. But in this case, we are being told that public participation was done. So my question to you is, what does the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya say about public participation? Because we've been seeing, conflicting, we've been seeing conflicting rulings from the court, to an extent that at times they say that public participation has not done, at times it has been done. And so it's a little bit confusing, bearing in mind that these are the issue of public participation. It is not the first time. So if what really does the constitution of Kenya say about public participation? Is it clarified enough?
Yes, the constitution mandates public participation before anything touching on the general public is passed by parliament or the executive. The BBI failed because the court stated that the public participation that was done was irregular because it was spearheaded by the same people who introduced this BBI. If you remember, there was a grand launch at KICC where Baba and Guru mobilized everyone and they were trying to spearhead BBI. And the court stated that you cannot, with the move of the motion, and also educate everyone on the motion and expect them to there's
Would you your volume?
Yes, there's a presumption that if you are the owner of the motion, you can do everything you can to make sure it passes. So there's a requirement to involve every other person, including those that are against your opinions. You cannot just spearhead everything and come and claim that everyone accepts it because you accept it. That is essentially what the court said about BBI. And it failed because the movers of the motion, the movers of the BBI, were the same people who are purportedly carrying out the public participation. And in the last week, there has been a determination by the Court of Appeal which said that there is no threshold of public participation, and Parliament needs to come up with a law, a specific law of how public participation is supposed to be carried out. That is why SHA and the housing levy and every other tax was allowed when we were thinking that there was no public participation which we were relying on. So I think that is my opinion on public participation.
Okay, just still on the public participation, there has been the reason why young people, the Gen Zs as they were called, went for demonstration, is that they were not really satisfied with the content that was there in the finance bill. The parliament had a role of ensuring that public participation was one thing that they were supposed to do, and they did it. When this impeachment was also being done, you can remember the Kenyans, especially the Nairobians, they went to Bomas of Kenya to give their opinion. And if you can keenly remember, I think you mentioned that the likes of Kebaso were carried out by, I don't know how to call them, and he was thrown out. And so my question to you is, if you watched what was happening in Bomas, that was something that was planned by the leaders, the members of parliament who are, doing that public participation. And sometimes we feel that as a people that when public participation is called, we find that sometimes the public, the people who are given the opportunity to give their view, they're either bribed, or they are either swayed, so that they can give us, their thoughts that are aligned by their member of parliament. And so my question to you is that really a good thing? Because that is what happened when we were doing the finance bill until the finance bill was passed. But then when they had passed it, then the real Kenyans, the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, said that, you know what, we did not participate. If you ask the parliament, according to them, they participated. And what you can see is either they called some few Kenyans whom they were able to bribe, they bribed them, and then they gave the opinion, and they have the record. So my question to you is, how, from where you think, and you as a legal expert, what can we do? Because the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, chapter 1 talks about the sovereign power, and anything that is being done in the republic that involves the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, the Constitution says that they should give their decision. But we've seen so many instances where the parliament makes laws, pass laws without really, involving or taking or hearing the decisions of the people. What can we do so that we fully follow this constitution and it becomes helpful to us, so that we don't end up going for demonstration like in the same case where the finance bill was passed, but the people were not really supporting it?
We need serious civic education. Everyone needs to know how to actively participate in politics if they want. And an example I can give you is during the anti-finance bill protests, there was a term called kusalimiwa. Watu walikuwa wanasalimia waheshimiwa. There is someone who published a list of all the MPs, their emails, and their numbers. So they were just waiting to see how they will vote. And before the day of voting, everyone made sure they made a call to their personal MP, telling them not to vote for the finance bill. I think that was a time when everyone was very civilly aware. So we really need civic education. We need active participation, because the decisions that politicians make affect you. Even if you are not interested in them, they will eventually affect you. Even those people who did not go for maandamano are affected by the taxes that are now being seen on their payslips. They thought that the Gen Z were trying to topple the government or trying to do something, but you can clearly see that they were not fighting about nothing. They were worried about something that was going to come, and it has actually come. So we need a lot of civic education. And I would also like to applaud Morara Kebaso on what he's doing, because all these details are usually on the government websites. All these projects, all these figures he comes up with, it's not that he has them from somewhere or he's being fed information by someone. He just goes to the website and looks at the values of the figures that were allocated to certain projects, the amounts that were paid, and the work that was done, which is nothing. You will find that almost all payments have been made, but there is nothing that has been done on the ground. So I think that is a good place to start with civic education. And if we continue on that trend, we can change our political scene.
Okay, thank you, Akili. You've spoken about Morara Kebaso, and so I have a question for you on the role of the youth, especially those who have been advocating what educating the people of Kenya on maybe the role of the government or the failures of the government. What would you say about the likes of Kasamuel Makoure? There's a group of young people who came together, and they were seen as the leaders or the people, the forefronters in the maandamano that was led by the Gen Zs. being led by one MCOBURA, and then along the way, we saw them, just disappearing. And then the next thing we saw is they were having photos with people in government, the government side. And my question to you is, do you think most of these youths who have been spearheading these movements or have been seen as the the fronters, do you think they're genuine? They're genuinely fighting for the rights of the people, for the youths? And what makes them to lose that focus? Most of them we've seen, they've simply left what they were doing, and they've changed. They are currently either supporting political movements and the rest. Are they just using, are they just, they're doing this so that they can elevate themselves and be known in the republic, so that they can get, take that advantage to get into the political limelight? Because there were many youths who are actually doing that, but all of them went away. What is your take on the role of the youth, and especially those who have been leading these movements?
Yeah, I think the youth should be on the forefront of this change that we are seeking, because they are the ones who stand to lose the most. And what you've asked about those people who disappeared, I think they are better placed to answer that. But in this country, a lot of things happen. Maybe they are scared for their safety, maybe they are prospecting for their future. If you are approached by a politician and told that just keep quiet kidogo, tutakushughulikia, and you genuinely don't have anything, what do you think they will do? Will you stand by your principles, or will you listen to the politician? But I think they're better placed to answer that question. So yeah, maybe next time we'll invite them to tell us what happened.
Okay, thanks, Wakili. I'm coming back to you. Mr. Miguda, what would you say about the question that I've asked? What's your opinion before I go back, before I give Wakili Cheriso another question?
You have asked like three questions. Which one?
Just to give your opinion on both, just your take on that. I know I was simply directing it to Wakili Cheriso, but you can just give your opinion on both. I think we've had these conversations before with you.
When we went to demonstration as the young people of this country, for some of us it was organic, and some people were very much genuine from the word go. We never knew that, the Gen Z movement had no leader. We said that we were leaderless. So I do not know who are these leaders you are trying to say that they were leaders in that movement. That movement were leaderless, and anybody who is purporting to be the leader of that movement maybe is pursuing his own political interests, or maybe is pursuing his own ambitions in the field of politics, because the movement was leaderless. And we have also not blamed anyone by meeting any politician, or by meeting any senior politician, or by purporting to be the leader, because we all knew that it was leaderless. So those people who have crowned themselves to leaders and have made interest into meeting senior politicians or meeting other leaders, we wish them all the best, and as they pursue their interest in politics, which is very normal. Because even if you ask them, they were telling that we were this. That's why I was even having a problem with the Gen Zs. Why were they accusing Osama Otero of betraying them and other people? Because they were leaders. So if anybody make an effort to meet any politician president, there's no need of you accusing or attacking that person to have betrayed you. The movement was, I think it was hijacked by the politicians, and not only hijacked, it was also made impossible for Gen Zs to protest, because there were so many interests in that movement or that demonstrations. And as a result of the demonstrations, we have ended up with a broad-based government, and also there was dissolution of the cabinet, and Right now, it has led to the impeachment of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. So I believe that those were people pursuing their own political interests. They were not leading the Gen Z.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So you've spoken about the leaders of the Gen Zs and the rest. That brings me back to the topic that we are having. Since the demonstrations were started by the Gen Zs, one Honorable Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, we've seen them. Okay, let me speak first about Babu Owino. Babu Owino partly supported, and he said that what was being done by the Gen Zs was a good thing. You know, not Babu, the likes of Natem, I mean Sifuna, not Sifuna. They were Babu Owino, the senator of Busia, among other political leaders, to an extent that they were supporting, and at one point, they were viewed as the future leaders. That should any opportunity come, they will be considered by the Gen Zs. And then after some times, when the ODM gave their stand, they went quiet. And the same happened with one Ndindi Nyoro. And so my question to you is, these two gentlemen, Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, why do you think that, for example, Babu, when ODM had declared itself that, at first they were a little bit confused, they were supporting the Gen Zs, and then after some times they were not supporting the Gen Zs. My question to you is, why do you think the likes of Babu Owino went quiet and they did not give their opinion on what they think and their stand on what the Gen Zs were doing?
After all that, the young people in the country, they are like, they want their representatives in the National Assembly or the Senate. But young parliamentarians have taken that position. They are the leaders of the young people into the National Assembly and into the Senate. And those young leaders are people like Babu Owino, Ndindi Nyoro, Sifuna is in the Senate. So they have viewed themselves that we are the representative of the young people, because young people have felt that they are not being represented in the executive, in the legislature, and in the judiciary. Therefore, they have taken that position that they are our representatives in that legislation. So any interest that the young people have at heart, they have to advocate for their interest in the National Assembly. So when the young people came up with the Gen Z movement of the protest, wherever they wanted to reject the finance bill, they took that role as their representative in that house. That's why some of them voted no, and even Babu Owino promised to open the gate when we were coming to Parliament. So when the people breached Parliament, Babu Owino was being asked some question during that demonstration. Babu, kindly open the gate the way you promised. So Babu is trying to act as a leader in that house, representing the young people interest. That's why sometimes anything that the young people have come up with is trying to advocate that interest in the house or outside the house. In the case of Ndindi Nyoro has seen that the impeachment was unpopular. That's a fact. So he want to swim with the current political dynamics of the time. You have asked about what do they have, what is the future for the two. What they have is well known to them, and there is that gap. And I will agree with one of our viewers, Godfrey Kenyoru. Godfrey Kenyoru said that these young people, they want to appear as a pro-generational change. He has put it very clearly that pro-generational change. To me, I will view that there is that gap of generational change of leaders in the country. So if there is that generational change of leadership in the country, they want to dive in and represent the people of Kenya that we, as young people, we are going to chart a new political ideology in the country that is going to favor the interests of the young people. Now they're coming up with the new ideas, and also they're coming up with the new stance in the politics of the country. They are not swimming with the current political stand. That's why you find people like Babu Owino are dissenting to the decision of the party. They are dissenting to the decision of the party, like they are not boarding to join the broad-based government. They are not boarding to take the process of pitching a deputy president. And Ndindi Nyoro has also joined him to take some stance because they are trying to provide that alternative, that generational change of leaders, whereby they want the young people to view them as their leader in that house. Because the question could be, we the young people, we are seeing things differently, but even the members of parliament are not seeing it differently. Therefore, they want to see the way the young people who are outside parliament seeing those things. That's why they are trying to articulate their policies and their issues inside parliament and outside parliament that is well resonating with the people of Kenya. Then the other question you have asked is about the issue of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua not resigning. My view could be Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, former, might have seen that even if he resigns, he's going to, maybe they wanted him to make a comeback with the William Ruto. And he's also not a foolish politician, he's a cunning one. Maybe he has seen that he has no chance in 2027, whether he resigns or not. So he decided to fight back in the court because if he could have resigned before going to the court process and the 2027 president himself, he has no chance to beat William Ruto. Maybe if he has seen that I have no chance to beat William Ruto because I'll now be out of the office as the deputy president and William Ruto will be the president and is going to control all the state instrument of violence, and also Rigathi Gachagua being outside of the deputy president office. And MCOBURA, you understand that power attracts. So there was no one Rigathi Gachagua was going to attract after he has resigned. People will now align themselves with the Kithure Kindiki because currently is the deputy president. Is going to attract members of parliament. So when the power will not attract people from Rigathi Gachagua, he has got no chance to battle it out with William Ruto. Therefore, he has no chance to win 2027 election. So he saw it wise that let him just go through the court process rather than wasting time to resign. And I'm not in that position. I'll attract none, and therefore I have no chance to be a sitting president. Let me just go out through court process. That's why sometimes I do not blame Rigathi Gachagua council team. They try so hard to advise him rightfully because even if he resigns and goes home, who will be following him? He will not have that position which will attract people. Once someone has gotten into power, he will soon attract. Now the person who is attracting people is the person who is holding that power. That is Kithure Kindiki.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Michael Budi at the comment section. Godfrey Kenyoru, thank you so much. Laban Misiani, thank you so much. Gypsy Corner, thank you so much. And everyone at the comment section, I can see Eric Ayaga. Thank you so much, Eric Ayaga. Umepotea sana. Hujaonekana. Douglas Kibogong, thank you so much. And everyone, if you are at the at the viewing section and maybe you want us to recognize you, kindly just write a comment that you are following and you're part of this channel, and we will really appreciate. Mr. Miguda, what's your take on what is on the screen? Okay, thank you so much, Dennis Mukangi. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate. Mr. Dennis, we are humbly requesting you to subscribe to the channel because it is a way of supporting us so that we can always continue with these conversations of letting the people of Kenya get to know what is happening in their country. Thank you so much, Dennis. What's your opinion on on the question? On the comment of our good friend Godfrey Kenyoru? What would
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
Can you hear me out?
Yes.
If Babu, Ndindi, Morara, Natembeya, Sifuna, Mtula Kilonzo Jr., Wamchoma, and other youthful leaders can come together and have a common cause, then we can see a shift in the political sphere. There is no problem with them coming together, but I don't endorse that formation because it is composed of most of them are youthful people, youthful politicians. The composition of a formation should include each generation. It should include the older people, the Gen X, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and and alpha if they can participate in those elections. So that formation is a good one, and it composes people from different ethnic community and different region. But I don't view it that it can attract a larger number of people because of the nature of our politics. And look at the people there he has mentioned, because people like Babu, Ndindi, Morara, Natembeya, Sifuna, Mutula, they do not have followers. They don't have even leaders who are elected on their behalf. Most of them are clinching on other people's politics. Like Mutula Kinzo Jr., Awaipa, Ndindi, UDA, Babu ODM, Morara has got inject party, Natembeya, DAP of Eugene, Sifuna ODM. So these people, they still have the party leaders, and they can have followers outside the leadership structure, also outside the party structure. But I don't see them having leaders within their friends within the parliament or MPs. So if they come together to form an alliance, I don't think it can be a formidable to fight the status quo. The status quo is still strong because the status quo still command a very good number of MPs in parliament. Status quo still command a very good number of senators, even governors. And there is also going to be a lot of conflict in this formation because someone like Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is want to do a second term of governor. So he will concentrate in his campaign in his county, Makueni. He will be campaigning, he will be based in Makueni. Natembeya will be based in Trans Nzoia trying to defend his seat. Sifuna will try to defend the Nairobi senatorial seat. Morara might be looking for a space to fit in. Babu might want to go back to Embakasi, and Ndindi Nyoro will be busy in Kiaru. So there's no way they can come together and chart their own way, because who will sacrifice the current seat so that they want to go for presidency and the deputy president on a bargaining power that they want to bet? Who is going to bet among the two? So it's going to allow who's going to lose his seat. That's why I say that it is a good one and a good proposal, but it should be looked into broader perspective. And also, who is going to penetrate in the interior part of the country? Who is going to convince the voters outside Nairobi? Who is going to convince the people who have kingpins and queenpins in the regions? Who is going to convince the Kalenjin nation now not to vote for William Ruto? Who is going to convince the Luo nation now not to follow Raila? Who is going to convince Kamba not to follow Kalonzo? And other short stories. So I don't think it is an alliance that can send the status quo home as early as possible. We need to just look at a formidable alliance and a very tactical one, which include everyone, include the Gen X, so that we can find a formidable force that can send the status quo at home. But with this formation of alliance, it's attractive and it's composed of young people. But I don't think, because you find even some of our age mates, they are not in support of the Gen Z demonstrations. They are not in support of reforms of the country. They are not in support of the transformation. Some of our age mates are fully behind the so-called kingpins, the so-called regional leaders, the so-called governors, because some of them have the interest with the governors. So there is no way you can bring them together with this formation. MCOBURA, back to you.
Mr. MIGUDA, truth be told, Babu Owino, as much as he comes from from those sides of Nyanza, he's a politician who is known in the entire country. That's a fact. He's a politician, who is accepted. If he goes to Mount Kenya, Babu Owino is known in Mount Kenya. If you go to the coastal side, Babu Owino is known there. If you go to the Kamba Nation, Babu Owino is known there. I think it's someone who has been welcomed by the whole country. Talk about one, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro got to Luoland, the people of Luoland, Nyanza are speaking about him. Go to the coast, The other day, the last time I saw him doing these movements, he was in the Rift Valley, and he was actually received like a very senior politician, and he was welcomed. We've seen him officiating so many things. We've seen him being invited by members of parliament to their constituency, and he's been welcomed like like a leader, who is accepted. So my question to you is, let's just go direct to the point. What is your thought about Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, and with the support of those who have been mentioned, do you really think if they come up with a political movement, because that is what is happening, truth be told, they are silent now because they are forming something. And my question to you is, should they identify each other with all these people that people are mentioning, the likes of Natembea? You know, Natembea commands a good following in the Western region, and that's a fact. Talk about Sifuna, a very learned young politician who, you know, when he gets to the Senate, he speaks very eloquently. If he goes for these shows, you know, if you watch the morning shows at one of our, you know, local television, you know, whenever he's at the show, you know, people like watch that show. People are really love how he speaks, articulate issues, you know, the likes of Mutula Kilonzo, a very young, learned, you know, politician as well. Let's talk of Wamuchomba. You know, if you can remember what people said about Wamuchomba sometimes back, that she was being referred to as the only man in Mount Kenya region just because she made a stand and decided that she was not going to vote yes for the finance bill. What do you think about this formation? Just give us a nutshell of what you think and if they can succeed.
I'm not I'm not beating around the bush. I'm just also trying to put things the way they are. And in my view, do you think that someone is going to resign? Let me take people like Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and Atembea. So it means they are going to resign from Wiper, someone going to resign from DAP, and they join that new formation. I don't think so, because Natembea want to defend his gubernatorial seat in Trans Nzoia. Mutula Kilonzo Jr. want to defend his gubernatorial seat in Makueni. Sifuna want to defend his senatorial seat in Nairobi. Babu has not made a clear stand. Sometimes he want to go to Embakasi, sometimes he want to be governor. Ndindi Nyoro want to defend his seat in Kiaru constituency. Wamuchomba want to defend his seat in Githunguri. So I do not see a scenario whereby any of them is going to sacrifice his seat. But if the question could be, who is going to be fronted as the president and who is going to be fronted as the deputy president in that formation? How is that alliance going to work? And look at the region they are coming from. Right now, people like Kalonzo Musyoka have declared interest for the presidency. So does it mean that if Governor Mutula opposes Kalonzo Musyoka will front another candidate for Wiper in Makueni against Governor Mutula? If DAP decide not to vie, and Eugene also want to be Kalonzo affiliate in the future politics, it means Eugene is going to front another candidate in Trans Nzoia with the DAP. Look at Babu Owino and Sifuna. If now they can walk out of ODM, truth be told, I can say they are popular in Nairobi, they have followers in Nairobi, I used to like them, but they don't have followers in National Assembly. They don't have MPs who are following them. Sifuna does not have senators who is following him. So I don't see a scenario whereby you are telling me that if Babu form alliance with these guys, they are going to send the status quo at home. They are not going to send William Ruto at home in any way, because the nature of the politics of the country is more of a tribal-based politics. Because if you have put them, they are nice and it's very attractive in the eyes of the youths. Now Babu Owino is coming as a Luo in that formation. The question is, does Babu command Luo nation? No, Babu does not command Luo nation, because Raila is still alive, and Raila, even in his absentia, people still believe in him. Babu currently is not commanding Luo nation in that formation. Sifuna is not commanding Luo nation in that formation. Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is not commanding Kamba nation in that formation. So I don't see even the Githunguri member of parliament, Gathoni Wamuchomba, commanding the entire Mount Kenya nation. Therefore, it is an attractive alliance, and it's something that looks very good, because he has also brought those people who have been seen like eloquency. You know, eloquency is not leadership. You can be eloquent, but don't provide good leadership. He has brought those people who have been viewed even the top performing MP, people like Babu Owino, Ndindi Nyoro, and Gathoni Wamuchomba has been brought because of her stand during the debate in the parliament. And maybe he has brought Kilonzo Jr. because of his performance. I will advise him to introduce people like Irungu Kang'ata in that formation, because Irungu Kang'ata is also a performing governor. Therefore, you cannot bring all performing leaders or all leaders who are eloquent into an alliance, then you expect them to beat the other team. People must be put, people have different abilities and different talents and skills. You can't brought those people who are performing or people who are eloquent to form an alliance so that they can transform the country. There must be that mix up of leaders for it to look attractive and for it to be given an opportunity. That's why, and these people, all of them are young, and none of them has made an attempt to vie for presidency. So how are they going to beat someone who is currently controlling all the instrument of state violence, and someone who has sacrificed to send his deputy at the expense of his political survival? So this formation. I don't. It can look attractive, but people who is going to buy it? Because even Morara now, where are they going to put Morara if it's that alliance? So who is going to be the president, deputy president? So it's a good idea, but I don't think it can send William Ruto home 2027.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm not disputing any of your your comments. And I don't know. I can see our viewers; they're really engaging at the comment section. Allow me first to welcome. I saw Batseba and Duari. Thank you so much. And there's also Stephen Kimani at the comment section. Thank you so much. Batseba again. Thank you. Dennis Mukagi. Thank you so much. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media. We kindly request you that if you are new here, kindly like and subscribe to our channel so that we may always continue with this conversation, because we are just trying to give our opinions on what we think and to also let the people of Kenya know what is happening. Yes, so Mr. Miguda, I don't know if you can see the comment of Godfrey Kenyoru. Godfrey is saying that the ground has shifted and Kenyans want just direction. And the day they get an option, I can guarantee they will vote to the last man. I agree with the Godfrey. If you've been studying the political environment in Kenya, what happened by the Gen Zs, it is something that we never expected, truth be told. We never believed and we didn't know that, young people of the Republic of Kenya would come out and, even make the deputy president, I mean the president, to call or to send home all the cabinet secretaries. And if you followed that, that movement, the young people are very particular that we don't want specific people, and they gave the names and they said that we don't want him because of this. And most of them were very popular politicians. Most of them were politicians whom, like, we've seen there for quite some time. And again, the young people said that this time round do not give opportunity to someone just because he's known, but give opportunity to people who have shown that they can lead. Give opportunity to people that at least have shown, some characters of leadership. And if you can also remember, this thing was the movement, the demonstration was done all over the country, in all parts of the country. And remember, the message they were preaching was that we are no longer going tribal this time round. We want someone who can deliver. At some point, if you can remember, there's a time they had there was like a memorial, something to something like at Uhuru Park. And those who showed up were one, the senator of Busia, And if you, the few youth who are, who are interviewed, they gave their opinion. They say that the likes of the senator of Busia are the people who have stood with us, and we don't care, whether I'm from Mount Kenya, whether I'm from which side of the country. He has shown that he can lead. He has shown that he can stand with us. And they say that should any position come, that the people would be given first priority. And so my question to you is, we've gotten to a point where the voting style in the coming general election is not going to be based on tribe. It is not going to be based on the political I mean, people who have been there for quite some time, because we've seen what the young people believe in. We've seen the voice of the ground and the voice of the people of Kenya. And so my question to you is, uh, from where you are, Mr. Miguda, are you still of the opinion that the voting style come 2027 is still going to be the same, and that the tribal nature that we've always seen it, you know, led by famous senior politicians, they're the people who are still going to shine, or we are going to see a change whereby uh, the tribal voting that we've always seen is going to be like, let me say, it's not really going to play so much. What is your take on that?
I agree that the ground has shifted, but it has not shifted into higher percentage. It has shifted into a smaller percentage. And to be precise, it has shifted in the minds of the people. But truth be told, this is why I'm saying that things might not change differently, is because even when the broad-based government came into play and some allies of Raila Odinga were rewarded with the position of the cabinet secretaries, the people like John Badi was made the CS for Treasury. When he was made the CS for Treasury, the people of Homa Bay were saying that now the money is sleeping at Homa Bay. You get it. People were saying also now the energy, we'll have electricity, most of the last mile will go to the all Nyanza province because Opio and I has been made the CS for energy. So it means that the people of Nyanza, some of them have felt that they have been rewarded, but they never voted for William Ruto. So if you are saying that we have shifted our political voting bloc because of the Gen Z protest, that is a fallacy. And I'll not buy that one. Because even right now, even if you call your friends from the village, they will tell you that we are in government. And they are telling us that once Raila endorsed William Ruto, they are going to vote for Raila. And that's why you have even had people, William Ruto, even when he was accompanying the previous Sunday service at the African Divine Church, he was accompanying some members of ODM who are members of parliament, like Alagwa was there, Dr. Lillian Gogo was present. It means now there's new formation of alliances going on. It means that once these politicians has confused voters, voters are still going to vote along the tribal. And remember when Rigathi Gachagua was being impeached, even my fellow Gen Zs who were on the street protesting about this defunct government, some of them were saying that they have removed Rigathi Gachagua, our own, someone from our community. And those were the Gen Zs who were crying. Even this our channel, the Gen Zs have said that Central Kenya. So I don't think that it has shifted in the actual sense of a voter. An average vote has not shifted. That's why they have come to defend the status quo. So in 2027, there's likely possibility that most of the people are going to vote based on the tribal line. Because even if you are saying that it has shifted, look at the demographic of the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs, most of them do not have voters card. They are not registered voters, and they are not even pushing for that process to take place. So how are they going to remove William Ruto? Or how are they going to vote in a new president without voters card? Because at the polling station, you must be verified. So I don't see where a situation whereby they are going to remove someone from office without verification. So
Okay, sorry, Mr. Miguda, I think he has dropped, and Mr. Miguda is simply trying to clarify that from where he sits, he's not seeing any possibility of the voting style changing, especially among the Gen Zs, and is saying that the voting style is not going to change. The way the voting style has been based on regions, based on tribe, we will still see, according to his statement, people voting the same formula that they've been voting with. Yes, Mr. Miguda, kindly proceed.
So I was saying, in someone who is an intellect or someone who is having that mindset of a change, want to transform the country, has shifted because the behavior of the Kenyan people, the young people are now protesting that, more particularly people from Kenya, that why did they remove the Gachagua? It means this issue of tribalism did not end with the protests of the Gen Z. It is still with them. And even the people who, not only the people, you can view it on the media that the people are talking about transformation change, but the actual people on the ground still believe that they are the kingpins. That's why some people are saying that they're just waiting for Baba to finish the AU task. When he's elected to be the AUC chairperson, they will have their way. But when he's not elected, they will also have their way. So why are they waiting for Baba to be elected or to be elected? It means that they still believe that the only person who can give them instruction is Raila Odinga. You have had people like Caleb Amisi saying that they are waiting from orders from above, Raila Odinga, to tell them what to do even with the president. Similarly, the people of Rift Valley are still viewing William Ruto as their kingpin. So you can just say that the young people are desiring for change in the country. They are yearning for this change. And now how to bring this change is where the question is, because the change can.
Okay, sorry, I think Miguda is having a problem with his network. Before he comes, allow me to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers at the comment section and at the viewing section. I can see Dominic Kathina. Dominic is saying that we believe in them. Let them unite. I hope you really know the ground these boys hold. I think him referring as these boys, I believe is talking Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro. And so something else that I also wanted to say is that the voting style in the Republic of Kenya, from where I sit and from the political happenings that we've seen, I believe, or I can say that partly it might change. It's not going to be the way we've seen it from where I sit. Mr. Miguda, kindly finish your take before we proceed.
So in my conclusion, I would like to tell the people of Kenya, maybe some of us who are viewing this channel are in diaspora, but we are on the ground and we interact with these people, these voters, average voters on a daily basis. People are just eloquent on the mainstream media, social media, that the ground has shifted, there's transformation. But deep inward, some people still believe in this issue of tribalism. Some people still view they have their tribal leaders. They view Kenya as they have their kingpins who is going to talk on their behalf. So with this mindset, there's no way you can say that we, the people of Kenya, are going to vote unlikely the way we voted previously. I don't think it's just going to be, it can be more of a smaller percentage of shift, but majority of the people will still vote based on the instructions they are going to receive from their leaders.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. I was recognizing our fans at the comment section and especially those who are actively engaging us. We really appreciate. If you have any question or any comment at the comment section, just type it there. We'll read it and give our opinion on. We'll try to answer your questions. Allow me, Batseba is saying that Wakenya kutoka Italy wamechoka sana na hii regime. I want to remind her that not only Kenyans in Italy, but Kenyans in any serious Kenyan, any Kenyan who maybe, anybody who has ever lived in the Republic of Kenya understands how things have been run. I don't think there's anybody who is happy with everything that is being done actually in the Republic. First, when we actually talk about the issues of taxes, what people of Kenya are saying is that we don't want to pay tax. We can pay tax, but let the tax that we are paying reflect, the let development reflects the tax that you are paying. They can tax us as much as they can, but we want good roads. They can tax us. We want good hospitals. It is so unfair that you're taxing someone and they don't have good hospital. If they get sick, they go to the hospital, they cannot find, medication. I think the best thing that a country should do is they should tax, but they should ensure that the infrastructure in a country is well maintained. They should ensure that at the comfort of the citizen, they're able to get good health, because there's nobody who will productively, would give, you know, would be productive if, health wise they're not okay, if you don't have hospitals around, if there are no, right medication. So the first thing that the government should do is ensure that they put all the infrastructure that the people of Kenya need in place. And when people are healthy, when people have good roads, when people have electricity, when people can get access to clean water, of course their health would be high, would be good, and they would actually be very productive. So the government should ensure that they look into that. It is so painful that we are being taxed, and more of that tax, 60% of it or 40% of it, is being looted by the same leaders that we have. So those are among the things that we are trying to remind the people in leadership, that they have a role to ensure that they run this country in a way that makes the people of Kenya feel that they belong. The people of Kenya would then feel that the country is going in the right direction. It is so painful that we've been the giants of East Africans, but we are seeing some two countries coming up very high. Tanzania is growing very fast. Rwanda is also growing very fast. And, the other day I was trying to look at the cost of electric train in Tanzania. It was around 140 something billion. And then just I was also trying to compare the cost of the SGR, the standard gauge. That is not even electric. If you try to compare the pricing, you'll be shocked that the Kenyan one, the price is very much hiked, and it will make you ask so many questions that, where are we as a country? What is it that we are looking for as a country, especially the leadership? Why are they hiking the price of everything? Why are they looting too much? Why are they auctioning our country? So there's so many questions that we have as a people, and we need to sit and ask ourselves these questions, because we have a role of ensuring that we make this republic better, we live it better, and we preserve it, for our children and the future generation. Mr. Miguda, there are some comments here that I would want you to give your comments on. And something else to Batseba Ndwari. I think we had agreed that I was supposed to give you a chance, you and the two other viewers, and that we would speak about some politics, especially the Mount Kenya politics. I think you had admitted, so you'll just tell me the day. Yeah, so there's a comment here from Godfrey Kenyoru. He's saying that I've supported Raila 4 times, but not again. He has demonstrated that he has never wanted to be president. He's just an opportunist, not kingpinship anymore. No kingpinship anymore. Okay, that is his comment. He's also saying that 2022 The elderly from my area voted KK government, but it is not the same anymore. The state of the nation has shifted ground. I agree. From my point of view, I also agree with the fact that, you know, the people of Kenya are not happy with this government. They are holding very serious issues, to their heart, and they're saying that this government, they promised us these specific things. The other day, I had I had some people saying that at least if Raila would have gotten here, maybe he would be getting, instead of the 6,000 that they said, maybe they'll be getting half of it. That might somehow have changed their life. That was their thought anyway. So Godfrey is saying that 2022 the elders from his area voted with the government, but he believes that they have shifted. I think because uh, of what they have experienced as a people. They've not seen the president fulfill the promises that he made. They've not seen any ease in the cost of living. It's actually skyrocketing, and that's a serious thing. Mr. Miguda, what would you want to add on what you just said here?
I agree with Godfrey Kenyoru in total, and I agree with him. But there are some problems that we have to state, some challenges we are facing as a country. Kenyans do forget, and we are all in agreement that this regime is defunct, and we need to send it home anytime possible. And we said that even if you can propose any person to stand against William Ruto will go home very early in the morning. But it's a problem we have as a nation. There's some section of our leaders who will go to the people and persuade them that we are in government. Let us join hand, because the other time we never voted for them and they gave us reward. Now, if you vote for him, how many positions will you be given? Then people will just follow that wave. That's a problem we have as a country. You might be reasoning logically as someone who is professional or someone who wants that change, but there's a problem with the people of the average voters. They will still follow those people whom you are saying are conmanship, those people who you are saying are opportunists. They will still follow them because of that political wave of the country. Not that we want William Ruto, we don't want him. We want him to go home even tomorrow. But the question could be how, the strategy, the plan. Those are the things we need to ask ourselves as Kenyans, because even our leaders from other regions are in support of the regime. And even some was asked about why the Adani deal was signed within 24 hours, and say that that is the efficiency of the government. So the government of Kenya is efficiency when it comes to signing deals of Adani.
Mr. Miguda, are you there? Can you hear me? Mr. Miguda, okay, I think I'm unable to. He's having a problem with his network. Before he finds a way of rectifying that, maybe I can give my opinion on what Godfrey is saying. Is saying that the moment you rate the disposal income of the poor and the middle class, automatically you lose support. I agree with you. So I agree with you, Mr. Godfrey. That is true. What we are actually experiencing currently is that uh, the pay slips of the people of Kenya has been raided, and it has even affected their qualification, the loan qualification of anyone who maybe is interested in having a loan. Because currently, if someone is in need of a loan, then you have to like commit. You have to say that when doing the calculation, you have to include. You have to say that the shift thing is like a commitment, and you. It is really. I don't know whether to say it's a funny thing, but it doesn't really make sense that. personally, I don't see the reason why the government had to change NHIF, even if it had problems. I think the best thing they would have done is to ensure that they change the whole structure and make the relevant changes. Uh, Maybe before I continue, let me share the link so that Mr. Captain Keep or Dennis Ayago or anyone who is willing to join can join and give their comment as well as we wait for Mr. Miguda to come back. I think the worst thing that the government did was trying to come up with things to do with the shift. They would have just ensured that they make the relevant changes in NHIF. That is, if it had problems. This issue of changing the whole thing and then pumping a lot of money, it is irrelevant to me. Mr. Miguda, you are saying something. I've also shared a link so that anyone who wants to join to give their opinion can join so that we hear their take as well.
Can you hear me out?
Yes, you are now clear.
Can you
Sometimes you
hear me?
keep dropping. Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
I was saying that even the current tax imposition by the CS for Finance is going to impose new taxation to the Kenyans. He said that there are some 45 clauses in the finance bill which was rejected 2024-2025 that is going to come back. Now the Kenyans are asking, if we, the people of Kenya, said that reject finance bill in its totality, do not amend, why are they now bringing the 45 clauses back to the National Assembly as a part of the finance bill? It means that they are trying to be dictators. They are trying to act contrary to the wishes of the people of Kenya. That's why we are telling you that there is a problem in the government. The people have demonstrated and have said that reject, do not amend. Now the current CS, who
Okay, sorry, I think we've dropped Mr. Migoda. He's not having a stable internet. Captain Keep, long time not seen. Where have you been?
See, you don't want to share the link. Why should I ask for the link? And yet you know it very well. The link should be online.
I've shared the link.
I cannot be insisting for the link each and every time, and yet you know it's supposed to be there.
Okay. Maybe I forgot about that. Yeah, so
That's
we
why
are having
I told you the other time. I better listen just on the comment section because it's like we are begging for the link. Anyway, no problem. Let's continue.
But you have my number, Mr. Keep. How come that's we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether you can see the topic. We are talking about one Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro. If you've been following the politics of late, we've seen, we've seen the comments of one Babu Owino, saying something about Ndindi Nyoro, and politically that has a lot. It means a lot. Yeah, and so I just wanted to hear your side because we've seen, Ndindi Nyoro moved to even Rift Valley. There's a time he was in Rift Valley. He's been most of time, he's been welcomed and he's been invited by so many member of parliaments to their constituencies, and he's been welcomed like some serious politician. And so my question to you is, with the union, their union with one Babu Owino, and what Babu Owino is also a politician who is known in Rift Valley, known in the Mount Kenya, known in the coast. If you followed if you followed the time Raila Amolo Odinga was doing his campaign, most of time when Babu was in those campaign, the people of Kenya would demand that he speak. And so my question to you, Mr. Captain Keep, is that with the union of these two gentlemen, And you've seen them. They have political stand against their masters. Can they succeed to win, the political environment in the Republic of Kenya? And again, there are people who are saying that should they combine with the likes of Sifuna, Natembeya, and many young politicians, and those members of parliament or politicians who have taken a different stand against their boss, then they can succeed. What is your take on that, Mr. Captain Kip?
Thank you very much, Mark, for this time. Niaje Miguda?
Niko fiti Captain Kip, uko vipi huko?
Naona umeinvest kwa shati ukawacha internet huku lipia. Anyway, ni sawa. Iko sawa. Sasa, let me say this, Mark, that for me, I've never seen any political stand on Ndindi Nyoro side. Maybe the other time only when William Ruto was being harassed by his boss, Uhuru Kenyatta, he stood firm with William Ruto. And right now, we have not heard from him anything in any way going against William Ruto. The sequence of events that took place when the deputy president was being impeached, we didn't hear anything from this guy Ndindi Nyoro, and we cannot amount that to be that he is supporting or he is standing firm with the deputy president. We never know. Even William Ruto himself, apart from swearing in Kindiki, he has never told us if he supported the impeachment or not. You read the other day an article saying that I was not aware that my deputy was being impeached. You see? So when you talk of these people, these two guys, especially these young men, Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, coming together, for me, I think I still oppose. I don't think they will come together. If they'll come together, it's okay. It's good for the people of Kenya. But Murima, Murima, how they are always. If they are now on metamorphosis of changing their political games, it will be well and good for them. But standing each and every time, talking of Mulima, talking of Kahawa, talking of Maziwa, talking of Sokoni, hiyo ni kama Kenya zingine hawana soko. Kama Kenya zingine hatuna kahawa iko. Talking of majani chai, na majani chai hata sisi tuko nazo. Ziko majani chai hata Sondu uko wapi, Kericho yote iko majani chai kila mahali. The day they will be talking of Kenya, they put the price of majani chai in uko kwao kwa mlima na iwekwe ikuwe the same na Nandi na Kericho. That is when now you'll know we are talking of Kenya. But for now, from the bonuses that I'm told that they were given out, the other side from Central, they are getting higher than the people from the Rift Valley. And yet they are even, they have the best and they have the largest scale of tea. So for Babu Owino, Mark, I don't know. Maybe he has been trying his best to stand firm with the party ODM. We have not seen him in any other party. Ndindi Nyoro maybe has come from the party of former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now he's in UDA. We can discuss on it. But for Babu Owino, he doesn't know any difference of being outside the other party. He just know only Baba Raila Odinga said Babu Owino is going for MP and Embakasi East. He doesn't know of any competition. The loyalty that has taken him to Embakasi East cannot equate him to tell the people of Kenya, I'm now making the alliance with Ndindi Nyoro and somebody else in the name of they want to make a party for them to drive them to State House. I don't think that is a national figure for him. He cannot. Babu Owino, I'll stop discussing him negatively. If he goes for political, what do you call? Competition before the final election. We are picking one candidate. We have a name for that. You understand? You see? So for him,
That
if
is
ODM,
party primaries.
no, not party primary, like now where unasimama ODM, mi nasimama ODM na tunasimama in the same constituency. We want to do a by-election, or what do you call elections of the party only, to pick candidate for each and every constituency.
So you're trying to say that they should not be given direct direct ticket. They should fight for that ticket so that we
Yes.
see. Okay,
Yes.
I get you.
Babu
The
Owino is
vetting
one
at
of
the
the
party-
survivors
at the party level.
of loyalty, of getting direct tickets. You see? Even the other day, you don't know, there was one commissioner for IBC that was killed in his own constituency. He kept quiet.
Douglas is saying nomination. Thanks, Douglas,
Yes,
for reminding
nominations.
us.
For those nominations, we will want to see Babu Owino going for by-election nominations with other leaders of Kenya, so that they can pick one. And we will see Babu Owino even saying, now I'm stepping down for this person. That is, now we will say that he's a national figure, and coming together, bringing other people together, like you have talked of Sifuna, we will talk of like Joanna Ngeno from Emuru Odigiri. We can even have Oscar Sudi. They come together and they form their own alliance. Those are the alliances that it will be national for Kenyan people. But taking the advantage now, whereby there's a difference between William Ruto and his deputy coming from central Kenya, we now want to pick those people who are supporting deputy president. That is the other MP, the other senator. They go somewhere. Even that woman. There is this woman with some kofia ya wazungu ya kitambo hii ya jeshi.
Wamushomba, Honorable Wamushomba.
Wamushomba. They are just going to a corner there. Na wanajiita sasa sisi tumekuja sasa sisi national, tunapinga serikali. Mnapinga serikali na nyinyi wenyewe ni yatima, mnaomba kulelewa na hiyo serikali. Huh? You know, Mark, this person, William Ruto, is somebody who arranged for his life politics from primary. I was reading from somebody was sending to me what he's been doing in primary, secondary. He planned all these things, and it is there. So even right now, as we speak, he has planned everything until even 2020, 2032 there. When you see Cherargei coming and tell us here, we want 7 years, because this time is like so much limited to whoever is in power to do the normal projects. Since 1963, it has never been small, or it has never been very few years. Now, William Ruto, because he's in the government and he's coming with Cherargei from the same region, the number of years being president for 5 years, or one term for being 5 years, is becoming very minimal for them. We want to increase to 7 years. We are opposing that. We don't want. We want even that thing to be 2 years. Ikienda sana ni 2.5. Naona mtu anaenda 5 years, hiyo ni 2 terms. Ukiiba heri utuibe kidogo hiyo, mwingine akuje kama tumejua wewe umeiba sana. Naona. This thing will stop, Nani Mark, let me tell you. This thievery is in Kenya. It will stop. The way Kenyans now, they know things, it will stop. That is why you see, who knew that even Babu Owino, we can think of having a subject like this, that Ndindi Nyoro and Babu Owino can be together. Even the other day, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta came together when they were the greatest enemies. They became brothers. William Ruto, the same thing. He was saying hata slides hakuna, hata ile karatasi ya hiyo nusu mkate hautaona karatasi penye imeenda. Na sasa saa hii Raila ndiye anaendesha serikali. So for me, what I see when you tell us that Ndindi Nyoro, Wamushomba, Babu Owino coming together, this is just what we call crying. They are crying, wanalia kwa sababu Gachagua ameenda. You know, these people from Jacaranda, I always watch somebody by the name Mchukua bunduki ama ni mtoto ya Uhuru, kitu kama hiyo. You know, those men there, we might be taking them to be idle. They have nothing to do, but they are sending a message. I saw him talking the other day on Obina show, and exactly what he was saying is that let the people of Mount Kenya to suffer. When the other day they were telling them, no, we are not going this way. They were the first people criticizing Raila Odinga that mzee aende Bondo, huyu mwingine anaenda State House. The same thing, even Babu Owino himself, he was saying that William Ruto, Raila will be the president of the Republic of Kenya. Ruto will be political what? Will send Ruto to political oblivion. Whatever, all those things we remember. We cannot forget. And those are the people we wanted them to come together to manipulate our minds in the name of they are the national figure in our country. I cannot. Mark, I saw somewhere the minister for energy ameambiwa to stop this thing of monopolizing the power. The power should be decentralized to people. Kama unaweza kupewa contract ya kupea watu stima, utapewa. What is your take? And what is the take of the people in the comment section? Those are the things we want. The other day, Telecom was misusing Kenyans na hizi boot unaingiza pesa. Maybe for some of you people, you are still young by then.
On the same, on the same, there's also what we call Starlink. Starlink has been, it's been Safaricom felt threatened by Starlink.
Yes, Starlink,
to an
yes.
extent that
Starlink.
They gave their opinion on their stand. And now they're saying that they want a collaboration with Starlink. They don't want.
No.
In short, they're saying.
Allow that. They're saying Starlink is unlimited, and you know what Safaricom is doing to us.
Yeah, so Safaricom was saying that what they want is collaboration. They don't want. I mean, they're talking in that angle, so that clarifies or simply says that they're looking for collaboration in ways that they can collaborate with Starlink. They don't want. I think they don't want competitor. But again, it can be ensured. Safaricom mostly decisions. It's being protected by the government in power. And so, with any other company coming in to do the similar services, I think the government actually will not allow. Safaricom they've monopolized, everything in the telecommunication sector. And that's why, Telcom was one of the giant companies. I think when, before we could hear of Safaricom, I think Telcom was what was there. But now you cannot, Telcom has actually, it's actually, I don't know what to even say. You'll never hear someone talk about Telcom in Kenya, but it's still there. So that tells you that Safaricom fears, any company that's going to bring good service to the people. They feel threatened. I think they want to milk the people of Kenya. Their services are too expensive. That's a fact. Maybe you can also just give your opinion.
All of those things, Mark, they are milking Kenyans' money. You remember Telecom?
And there's also a question here. Maybe before we get into that, Douglas Kibogong is saying that as we've given our opinion on what we think on Babu Nyoro, is saying that where do we place Kalonzo Musyoka in the Kenyan politics? Maybe Miguda atuambie hiyo alafu you come in.
Okay.
Kalonzo is a Kenyan politician with the characters that most of us are familiar with. Yes, he's someone who does not have a stand politically. He stands on two legs. So sometimes, even when they were with Eugene Wamalwa at Eugene Wamalwa's place, when they went with Eugene Wamalwa, former Kiambu governor, And they were, if you heard what they were saying, Eugene Amola was talking about a different thing, Kalonzo was talking about a different thing. So they don't have even a stand within that their coalition. Eugene was saying that they are going to get out of Azimio, or they're out of Azimio. Kalonzo was saying that they are still in Azimio. They have not got out of Azimio and they're not leaving soon. And these are two leaders working together, speaking different opinion in the public arena. So you find that Kalonzo and Eugene, even that their movement, they are not clear about what they want. So it's like they, everybody is like they want to join government, but they have not got opportunity. So they are afraid that they have been left out, and they are looking how they can get into that government. So Kalonzo, it is very difficult sometimes to discuss him, but I don't see him, because I don't see him moving forward as a formidable force to be reckoned with, because he has not given us a clear stand of his own, because if if they are not even in unity after ODM left, so I don't see them being in unity even amongst themselves. So Kalonzo, sometimes he was nicknamed watermelon. So I think you can look at his character and it can portray its real nature as a politician. So he's surviving, maybe that's a nature of him surviving the Kenyan politics.
Okay, thank you. Maybe okay. Okay. By the way, something I think maybe I should also tell our viewers is that we are working on hosting Jacaranda guys in this platform. So maybe at that point you'll give us the questions that you'd want us to throw to them, and hopefully they will give us their opinion as well. So Mr. Kip, what is your take on?
But I know on Alonso. Let me just say also about these Jacaranda guys. When you bring them here, they're supposed to be here also. We put the question for them, because there are some other questions that we need them to tell us, because I saw one of them undressing the other day, and from the outer politics has been going on, even for Nuru Okanga himself, when he was crying for Baba, he didn't want any support from the any UDA supporter. But later on, this guy by the name Sudi, MP for Kapseret, is the one who has done even the best for him. And on critics that he was criticizing UDA previously, we want to tell them, how do you see politics in Kenya? Should you be talking like the way you are talking? You never know of tomorrow. He's the one to answer that, not the platform. You see, Mark and maybe MIGUDA. Mark, I didn't see you long before when we started in Mutembe. I didn't see you.
I was there. We actually met most of these guys over there.
Okay. Do you know why Mutembe is no longer a topic right now as we speak here?
Of course I do.
You know. So we know Kalonzo all the way from where he has come from until where he is. We should not even keep on discussing about it. You see? Even the people from the Kibakong himself, he knows him. That is why he introduced that topic, that to keep us just busy here. Kibakong knows this guy is not going anywhere. People are counting when there are people are on F, he's starting A. People are on M, N, O, B there. He's here on BC. Hmm? Ask him Bagong about Kipruta Rapkiro. He was given the what was he about, something about UDA. And he dumped UDA almost at the tail end of election and joined ODM. Now he's not even heard in ODM, and ODM now is in government. Or let me say Baba is in government, because ODM, not all of them are in government. Some are still outside the government. Some they are in government. Maybe one of those people who are not in government. He's now not even had as somebody who can be heading even a kettle TV in the place, kettle deep. You see? So when people of Kenya, they have learned you and they know that you are not resourceful to them, why should we keep on discussing about you? You know, as much as also we don't like William Ruto, there is somewhere someone likes him. We have Leo Nyabaya here. Now he's the best supporter of William Ruto. But some of us whom we were there before, we have a second thought. We've changed. We see some things are not in order. Even some other day we saw a university in Eldoret. I think they are saying they are taking their charter. They are providing an education that is not qualified or what. And the same place, some people here, they don't want us to tell William Ruto, especially the people from my region. They don't want us to tell William Ruto this is not wrong. He's doing wrong. The people want it to be the right thing. When he does the right, they keep quiet. They don't talk about that. So Mark and other panelists, discussing Kalonzo Musyoka is a waste of hair. But he's part of Kenya. He's part of the politics. But yeah, let's discuss, no problem.
Mr. Captain Kip, okay, that is your thought. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Senator Kiplimo Shah, our good friend. Pia amepotea, sijui alienda pande gani. Senator, say hi alafu tupe maoni yako. Senator, can you hear me? Yes, go ahead. Say hi and then give us your comment.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to have you this evening. Despite I'm not feeling well, just want to give a small contribution on the same. Just to add to what my friend from Rift Valley said, we should not. Did he say we should not be discussing about Kalonzo? Yes.
Yeah. Captain is saying
We have
that.
better people to discuss, bro. We have upcoming artists. You know, you come from Rift Valley. We are now stopping discussing. We are now stopping discussing Eliud Kipchoge. Some upcoming athletes are coming. After these upcoming, they will cease, and we'll have new ones. So even politics is a metamorphosis of life that keep on changing things.
Actually, that is I can concur with you that there's some phases in our politics that we must wipe them out, starting from Raila, Uhuru, Kalonzo, Ruto, just to name the few, but there are many. Now that my friend Ndindi Nyoro has went aside from the Ruto politics of conmanship, so we are waiting to see new formation of a new breed of leaders, the likes of Natembea, Babu Owino, Senator Kiplimo Shah, and many others. So, particularly in Rift Valley, I want to call my friend from Rift Valley, Kip. Actually, the message in crowd now. Let me, my friend MIGUDA, should get this right. The message in crowd is that William Ruto is one-term president. That is in Rift Valley. What about now? You go to Mount Kenya, huh? And you know the formations now that has come in is that the Kikuyu, the Kema, the Kikuyu and the Kamba. You know those are the Kema, and they have significant votes. So when you do the matrix of William Ruto winning 2027 election is almost impossible, because when you segment based on the age, majority of the youth don't reason well with the Ruto kind of leadership. So you find that it will be very difficult for William Ruto to convince us 2027, because this guy, he has been operating on lies and deception, both in charges, in Arambes, everywhere. But someone says you can fool all the people sometime, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. So siku za Ruto ni kama za mwizi, sila 40 zimefika, hata imefika mapema, haijafika 40 mapema, because watu wameanza sasa kuwa enlightened, and I'm very positive about it, because we are growing democratically. So I just want to tell the youth, this is my message to the youth this evening, all the youth in Kenya, to get ID and register, so that we vote 2027 for a new Kenya. That is my message this evening, Mark Obura.
Let me have a question to my guy, Mark, because he has talked and he has told us the word in the rift that he's a one-term president. If now what Cherargei is trying to put in the parliament, that in Senate, that it should be 7 years presidency, one term. Remember, we still have 3 years or 2 years and some months. What if this motion, these people use just a thumping and all whatever to pass that bill or amend the constitution that now the presidency will be 7 years? How is it that now we will make this guy to be one term, and yet he will have that term, or he'll have that long span of trying to manipulate Kenyans, so now to continue for another 14 years. It completely be 14 years. As far as impeachment now, that you have heard also from the public that Makanga Amanda, now we want to drive out away the driver because the vehicle is no longer moving to the right direction.
Sure. So
how is yeah.
Let me respond to that. On the motion that Jerarkai brought, I think it is dead on arrival, because many Kenyans trolled the Senate portal, and they sent their views that they don't want presidential term limit to be increased, and our constitution 2010 is very complex. It's not easy for the politicians to handle that. So my friend, don't worry, that will not go beyond Senate. Actually, it was waste of public funds to go and discuss about such motion. It was just a distraction, because you have seen the political events that has been there. So just to keep calm and emphasize to the youth to get ID and register. We keep our weapons in place, and we'll just fight through the ballot. But he should not think of stealing an election, because the consequences will be very much unwelcoming for him. So vijana, nasema vijana msilale, patu mapambano ya kudeal na driver. Si Makanga ameenda, sasa tuna deal na driver. Kila mtu ashuke, tunaacha driver aende na gari yenye breakdown imeingilia. So I like the mood in the country now. Wakenya wamekuwa enlightened, and we're expecting change in economic and both political. You know, many of the times we are just going to vote and we don't see the implication of our vote in return to the economical aspect of it.
Okay,
To you,
okay,
Mark.
thank you. Thank you. Maybe before Captain Keep comes back, allow me to answer this question. I think Gypsy Corner had asked this question. I don't know whether I had answered. The age that is allowed for one to vote in Kenya is 18 years old. That is, if you get there, then you are allowed to own an ID. And from there, you'll be allowed to participate in anything as an adult and also as a Kenyan citizen. Yes, Mr. Captain. Captain, you had something that you want?
Yeah, I'm still with my guy here because there's some things for me, I see it so awkward that taking place in the country. Even though you cannot reverse it back, it has happened. I want to ask about this Kindiki appointment because, no, not appointment, swearing in. And when you check on the requirements of the political parties act and all whatever, how long should somebody be in a party for him to be like now running for a political seat or being appointed on a political seat? And we know him; he has never been in any party because he was a CS. You see, and why was he? Why was it that it was made to be a public holiday? It's not a working day, but the charges they were working on that very same Friday to swear him in. Yet we know when it is a public holiday, our government, all government officers should not be operating. What was that? Was it that to stop the deputy president not to stop the swearing in because the court is not functioning in the offices? That is in the Supreme Court, it's not functioning, but it is functioning to swear the deputy president in. I don't know if you understand the
Yeah,
mix-up.
I get that. Actually, we had
That
that
took place on that very same day.
Yeah, we had that discussion some other time. And,
I think I was not around, maybe.
Yeah, so the clarification that we got is that it was a calculated move. Immediately they got the go-ahead to, swear in the deputy. They simply called it an holiday so that it would block anyone who was going to the court to, to stop the swearing in. So it was a calculated move, partly, yes. But again, they did not want to take time so that they would give that loophole for anyone to stop all those things. So, once the holiday was called, then that meant that all the judges were supposed to, all the judges were then, they were not allowed to hold any session or to listen to any case. So I think that was the answer that we found for that. But again, the issue of appointment, we had a question. It was good. I think we forgot. We had a lawyer here that joined. Unfortunately, I forgot that question, but he has accepted that he's going to come again. So hopefully, if he comes, I'll ask him that question, because from what the Constitution says, it says that for someone to be appointed as the deputy president, they ought to have resigned from any public office. But what we saw, we did not see any, resignation by the professor. He did not resign as a cabinet secretary for interior. There was no any letter confirming that, and I think that question was even raised at the parliament when he was when they were vetting him for that position. And that same question was also in the courts. If you can remember, the deputy president's lawyers brought that in the court, and they say that the constitution is clear here that we are not supposed to give an opportunity to someone who has not resigned, and there's a timeline that they ought to have resigned. So we did not see that. So, truth be told, personally, from where I sit, I think there was a breach of laws. There were no good following of the constitution. But again, that will leave for someone in the legal field to explain to us. We had one here. I forgot to ask him that, but he accepted to come back. Maybe we'll get that answer soon. Mr. Keep, Captain.
Mark, most of them, they are listening they are listening us here, I know. And one of the legal avenues now that they will use to drive away the driver from the government is that he has allowed the breach of the constitution by himself, by even declaring an holiday, which is not supposed to be, and letting the court to function instead of being in that holiday that he has declared. Because in these two things, the deputy president could have not gone to court because it's a public holiday, but the same court was working, swearing in the person who the president was chosen to be his deputy. You see? So the avenues of impeaching the driver are those ones also. I think maybe he's not above the law or what.
I like that thinking. And I think I also like our constitution because that's a valid point. Because how someone would also reason or ask that if you block the deputy president from going to the court, but the same judges were also
the same judges who are supposed to have served the deputy president are the ones working for you.
Yeah, so that's a clarification that maybe someone would explain. But again, I know someone would also argue that it is their role. The reason why the holiday was called was specifically to swear in the deputy president, and that it was now for swearing in to take place, there has to be involvement of judges. So I think that's a good, thinking that we need to hear. We need to have some clarification from someone. There's a lawyer we were with here, and he has promised to come back. Hopefully, clarify that.
Our people, one problem with our people, and it is not our mistake, it is their own mistake. It is the mistake of the government because he's supposed to take care of these people. I'll not take it to be a problem, but I know the government is taking that to be a problem. That the problem with our people is they are so much well informed, and they are not happy when we know what is right for us. We know that. Remember the day Kibaki was sworn in at this time. At the time, was it 2007?
Yes,
it was not even a public holiday. It was not. By then we had no any new constitution. The constitution was the old one, which it is called another thing of also wrapping the constitution, because swearing in someone should be before saa sita and mchana, yani between saa mbili, working office hours isifike saa nane huko saa saba. No. And those are the things we changed the constitution to avoid such cases. But now again, when it comes to our own, we want to say we are right. We are right. So, Mark, things are not in order.
Okay, yeah. So maybe your thought on how the involvement of these two leaders, how it's going to affect their political leaders. That is, how is the union of these young leaders? Should they manage to regroup and to come together? Should they manage to convince all the political leaders who have been mentioned? The likes of Sifuna. Should they manage, to bring close the likes of Natembea, the likes
What
of.
I did not get you clear.
I'm saying that with the union of these two gentlemen, that is Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro, and all these politicians whom the people of Kenya are talking about dearly, that is the likes of Sifuna, the likes of Natembea, the likes of these young politicians, should they come together? That is the question is, how is it going to affect their, the seniors, the two most seniors, that is Ruto and Raila? Are they going to feel shaken? This was the comment that should Babu, Ndindi, Morara, Natembea, Sifuna, Mutula, Kilonzo, or Mushomba, and the youthful leaders, should they come together? Can they pose a threat to, the president, Raila Amolo Odinga? And yeah, what is your take on that?
Mark, these people coming together is to drive their own political knowledge and political will to the people of Kenya to be accepted. They must be well financed. And the two gentlemen you are talking about, that is Raila Odinga and William Ruto. When it comes to money, you know them. And when you talk of like Babu Owino, Ndindi Nyoro, Sifuna, Natembea, even if they come 10 of them, do you think they can beat these two guys? As much as we know now they are holding the government, they can manipulate anything and they get money to finish these people. Our people when it comes to money. Most of campaigns, you'll see our people now, because they have knowledge, they'll be having like 5 t-shirts or 5 parties. ODM is coming, t-shirt ya ODM inakuja juu. Zile zingine 3 ama 4 umezipanga ndani, UDA, KANU, nani, sote ziko. Ukisikia Gideon anakuja, ya Gideon inakuja juu. No. So, funding a party or coming together to fund yourself is another thing also that can make you to be known by or to be accepted by the people of Kenya. Let them try if they want to come together. But for me, I know, hiyo ni kama kuuza tissue pale kwa msikiti. Get it?
Okay.
Hiyo ni ile ya Kasongo, yes.
But then on that note, there's a new king of the jungle there's a new king of the jungle. The name is hard to pronounce. Some people call it Warthog, especially some of us who went to...
Yes. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I was expecting that guy to be from Kenya, but I'm seeing he's from West Africa.
Yeah, so but there are many things which are really trending in Africa currently. Yeah, so it would be.
Lakini Mark, your king, let me tell you this. Do you think what's happening in Kenya, if not controlled and can be exposed, this world will be finished? You have heard of BNB, you have heard of Bomet, Shongiroi, what those guys they do. You see, it's only that we are trying to have a bit of respect. We cannot expose
the decorum in the Kenyan environment.
And how you live your life with the general society at large. But if we are to follow and expose things of such a kind and many others, you will not live with your family. You will send them away. So that one, Kenya can be the best on that, but let's leave that because that king, what he did is not worthy. For me, I think that was not worthy.
Yeah, talking about that, I've just remembered about, at some point we had ever talked about the killings in the Republic. And I don't know whether you've been following been watching news, yesterday, the day before yesterday, there's still a consistency. There's some consistency in the killings, and we have that conversation here today.
Mm-hmm.
There's a journalist who was actually, you say, murdered with his boyfriend just because we're not so sure, but we may say that they had some disagreements. And so the question we were having here yesterday is, what is it that has befallen the people of Kenya? Why have we gotten to inhuman to an extent that when we get into, when we have disagreements, especially the ladies have been killed so much, either by their boyfriends, apart
You
from
know,
that, there are also abductions and killings, which are also still going on.
Mm.
I gave this example whereby if you're coming from the Rift Valley, when suppose you are growing and then you did your KCSE or high school, and then luckily you were told you are going to study in some campus in Nairobi or college, the only thing that your family or parents will tell you is that when you get to Nairobi, you have to make sure you're safe. Or first, they will think otherwise. They will tell you that, do you really think you're going to be safe there? The stories that you're getting or hearing over there are not so much, good. Like they fear for your life. And so, what I'm asking you is, what is your take? What has befallen the people of Kenya? And again, have we lost the moral to an extent that we no longer care about, the lives? Killing has become like an easy thing. Don't think twice. What is your opinion on that?
technology, my brother, is becoming a very big problem. Technology is even what is giving the president of Kenya a sleepless night. When he added the name, when he can hear now the name Gen Z, he will not sleep because of technology. Mark, long time before, even let me say let me quote it very easy, during our fathers and our mothers' days. Do you know we didn't have a telephone? Do you know they used to write themselves barua? Na by those days mtu alikuwa anakimbiza kabisa mbia anampelekea. I even remember someday, even me when I was in school before these phones and whatever, some of us, we used to be messenger. Now, Mark, you have seen a lady, you are sending me. I have seen a lady, I'm sending you, you see. So sometimes we cheat you that amesema umwekee 100 kwa bahasha kwa hiyo barua, alafu nitampelekea. But barua ingeweza fika bila ile 100, nishatoa 100. So now the generation that we are right now, remember, wacha sasa ile simu tumekuja tukiupgrade, tumetoka Sagem 3020 whatever, Siemens, all those Nokias, Motorola, tumekuja sasa mpaka sasa tuko kwa smartphone. Smartphone sasa imekuja hata mpaka na screen, ile screen saver. Unapata mkona mtu hapa ameenda out, kumbe screen saver si captain. Na captain ndiye atalipa hii bill. What do you expect, Mark? Labda nimepiga taska zangu 2, 3, 4, 5, alafu nione mtu mwingine kwa screen. Yule naye amekunywa Gilbert. Wanapenda Gilbert sana wale watu wengine. Amekunywa Gilbis yake hapo ama Amarula. Do you think conversation between mimi na yeye itaenda vizuri as far as this screen saver concerns? Maybe he's cheating on me or what? You've gone somewhere naye mumepingana kidogo mnakosana. So the problem now that we are in is the technology is running the world. Things are changing. Things are changing. Things that even could have been hidden during our times hakukuwa na kitu kama screen saver ya wazazi wetu. So wewe ushaona tayari hapa huyu jamaa ameseviwa. Ni screen saver tu nimeona, na pale kwa messages you'll want those messages to be opened na utaona maajabu. What you have been doing to this person, na ukumbuke na stress ya maisha penye umepitia mpaka umemfikisha hapo penye umemfikisha, you will end up doing something that is even unknown. You can remember this guy mwenye alichukua shoka referral akang'oa mtu shingo. Was it worth really? Hata shoka unapeleka shoka kuua msichana. Mark, continue kidogo nisikie hizi.
Okay, thank you, brother Captain Kip, for your take. I think what we've been seeing happening to our young girls in the Republic of Kenya, it is a shameful thing. Douglas Kibogong is saying Gen Z problem. These are the guys who burnt schools in 2010 and 2013. Okay. So okay, that's your take. It is really hard to speak about that because I don't really think it's just the Gen Zs because we've seen sometimes not so far ago we saw people who are actually in having families. We've seen so many senior people who are not on their youthful stage also taking this decision whenever they get disagreement with their husbands. You find that a lady burns, like they take an action which is not really good. We've seen men also do the same. So I don't really think it's just the Gen Zs
That's
that have
Mark.
gotten it. Yes,
I
yes.
had a telephone call. Sorry for disconnecting you. I had a telephone call, and we were on this thing of these killings of ladies and whatever, and even men, not even ladies alone, even men. And when we talk of beatings and killings, Mark, some men even here right now, as we speak, wanajificha hapa, wanalimwa mbaya sana. Lakini kwa sababu ya watoto utafanya nini bro? Unajinyamasia. Isikuwe kama ile Weta ile alireport police station. Navumilia na unanyamaza. I decided to cut you short because I saw Kibogong amesema mubabas, forgetting that also there are mumamas who are taking these young guys.
Maybe you explain to Gypsy Corner. Gypsy Corner ni kama she's asking Douglas, what do you mean? I don't know whether he's referring to the Gen Z problem or the Mubabas. Maybe Gypsy Corner elevi Mubabas ni nini?
Yes, I think what the Douglas Kibogong has put there, the Gen Zs are the problem. They are the same people who they were the first people in schools when we were in schools ourselves. Kuna wale watu hata hawakuwa wanaenda darasa. You could have not seen them in class. But when it comes to exam, they are performing. They have what you call they are naturally. Wakishachukua tu ile kitabu ya physics moja, forces and moments nini, saa hiyo imeingia kwa akili haraka sana. Naona biology, classifications, reproduction, kila kitu imeingia akili yake. Sisi wengine tunarudia, paragraph moja mara 10.
You sound like you are a good student of biology and physics.
No, it's live anyway. It's live. So the people that you see now, they are the Gen Zs. I agree with Kibogong. Walisumbua sana kwa mashule. And even somebody like Babu Owino, how many strikes we had in university, Nairobi University, when he was the student leader there. And now they are the best. He's a member of parliament now. You see how he's soldiering on in parliament when it is there are motions that he cannot agree on. You see? So the clever people who are now well informed, they are the ones, they are the very strict people, and they don't want to be played to. That is why you see the killings, they are only in cities, not even in Ushago pale nyumbani kwetu huwezi sikia ati kuna msichana ameuawa ama kuna jamaa ameuawa sababu ya msichana. Cities, because these people, they cannot live Ushago huko. Lazima waendelee wamalize university hapo Nairobi, anatafuta room yake pale Kawangware, Kasarani, Kibera, Lang'ata, anafanya assault zake. And that is how they have come as politicians. They have come as politicians. Ndio wanakuja kusungusha. Anatoka 1824 ako Carnival. Anatoka Carnival anaenda pale Gypsy Westlands. Gypsy Westlands anaingia hiyo inaitwa nini hapo nyuma ya Westlands hapo. Zote. Na wale wote wako hizo clubs ni wenye walisoma pamoja. So ile uhusiano ya high school bado inafuatwa, lakini anaenda pale anapata mubabas. Ule dem anaenda anapata jamaa yake ako na mumamas.
Gypsy Corner is still asking what mubabas is. Can you clarify?
Oh, Gypsy Corner. There is a song sijui ndamtumia aje Gypsy Corner ndiye ataona mubabas ni nani. Ataelewa hapo. Anyway, mubabas Gypsy Corner is somebody like me now with my this age of 60, and I'm dating a small girl of 20 years or 22 years, 25 to maybe half even of my age. I qualify now to be mubaba because the lady is younger, and vice versa to the other side of the gender. That is on the side of women. You'll find a woman is 50, 60. Dating some small guy with 20 years, 25 or whatever. That is now how they balance mubaba and mumamas. I think my explanation is well understood to Gypsy Corner. Ameelewa sasa, I think. Sijakupoteza Gypsy Corner, nafikiri umeelewa. Hata ndio hiyo hapo. And again, you see, Mark, one thing that our ladies should have to learn. Our ladies should have to learn. We are not their income source. Sisi sio income source ya wanawake. Sisi tunatafuta kama wao. Only that for us men, sometimes maybe we are a bit sharp on how to get this money. They have to appreciate that. But that one does not qualify for them to take us to be their income source. It cannot go like that. Request, you'll get. Enda kwa Biblia, omba, utapewa. Sisi uomba, na sisi tunaomba tunapewa.
Mesema tuombe, tutapewa.
Utapewa, bisha utafunguliwa. Na mlango kufunguliwa, usiende bila nini, unakabeba bag, squeeze mnaitanga aje? Carrier bag. Enda na carrier bag, weka kasukari nusu hapo, na makwota. Yeah.
It's called Uhuru bag.
Yeah, Uhuru bag hizo. Unajua nasikia hiyo bag ukikata pale chini inakuwa best. Inakuwa best. So hiyo beba bag. Weka kitu kidogo hapo, mlango ukifunguliwa unaingia na karatasi.
Tusikue kama the new king of Africa. Anyway.
The new king. Yeah, so I even understand how that guy is operating, because how he was explaining is like working in a very big office.
Yeah, he's a senior, senior government officer who is very much respected. That's a story for another day.
You see now, brother Mark, as much as
yes,
we have kings.
But partly,
and, the entire world. The entire world, the way they are looking at us, you understand. Some of us from where we are, we meet with these people, they say, no, that is not a good behavior. They'll be charging some of us basing on what that guy has done. Right now, even from where we are, when it is on social media spreading like that, you meet with them, they ask you, where do you come from? You tell them that country, or you tell another country like mine, they'll tell you, do you know somebody by the name? So run away. Just I don't know that. The moment you know, a lot of questions follows. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You see? Let's be kings like that guy who removed the money from KRA, the 12 million. But I'm not saying let's be thieves in this platform. No, I'm not advocating for that. To do the best thing that you see, that even somebody when he sees you, he knows that this guy was living for life. Amesoma ana kazi, lakini hiyo kama hiyo ya huyo naye hiyo. Some of us, that is why some of us at this age, we are almost heading to 60s, and we still have benefits. You see, because we respected that side, we didn't like that. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, but I know I'm not supporting that, but the African, someone might argue that the African culture, being polygamous, or in Kenya, like we had someone, what was the name of that guy who had so many wives?
Agugu danger.
Yes. So maybe some people might view it as a culture of Africans, but I think in this case it was different because these were people who are already in their matrimonial homes, and again some of them were partly related, so it's not really reflecting the culture of a typical African as some of us, because if you see the comments or what people are saying in the social media, people are also saying different things. Douglas Kibogong is saying that he used to teach in a college, and he would see some some teachers or lecturers, trying to portray that similar behavior. They were taking advantage of the poor or the poverty, but I think especially the issue of Mubabas and the Mamas thing, I think it's coming based on especially the Mubabas. Most ladies, especially the young ones, once they get to Nairobi, once they get to these towns, they have got they've got needs that they want, to ensure that they have their specific basic needs. But if they go to a point where they can't really manage to get, I think that is where they tend to fall for these traps. And we've seen these traps ending somewhere that is not really okay. Actually, most of the killings that we've seen, most of it are based on this. And what we need to do as a people is, the culture in us, the African culture part of it, I think it doesn't really teach us about this kind of behavior. So we just need to get back to our real the real culture. The real culture does not teach us, the real African typical culture does not teach or encourage someone to someone who is married to take advantage of young people or people who are not of their age. Yeah. So Douglas, don't get me wrong. I'm not confusing polygamy with adultery. That is not what I'm saying. Yeah, Mr. Captain Keep, maybe something else that you'd want to share with us before we finish. I know you came late when we had already exhausted everything.
But there's no any much, Mark. But you see, Douglas has put there that he was teaching in a school in Nakuru, Now the principal was sourcing the freshers there was uncalled for, which is not good. It's not a good idea. Poverty in schools, we all know, or some of us, we all know. If Mark, you are in a boarding school, you know how hard it is, and sometimes, especially for the girl child, better for us boy child a bit, because you understand what I mean. I cannot even explain to you. For the girl child, I think we need to be very careful. Do you hear me? Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, you are clear. I can hear you.
So I'm trying to say that for the culture, let's so much be careful. And if so, let's invest in this culture, because we are losing good people at a young age through so many ways that are not even like for the university. You said before, when they say that you are going to study in Nairobi, your parents were asking you, will you be safe there? How will you go there? So I remember some case about my sister. He was complaining of she wanted Nairobi University, not Moi University. And my father insisted that no. If you don't want to go to Eldoret University here, then it is not my house. You go to Nairobi, pay your own school fees, pay everything for yourself. And the letter of admission has come already from Eldoret University. So she had no choice. She had to go to Eldoret University because that was very near and to be monitored from home. The father was trying to show the knowledge and understand how life is in Europe and how it goes. So poverty in schools need to be checked on, especially in providing the basic needs to culture the way we know, that leads them to be, in fact, immoral, let me say so, because as we even talk here, we know we have a street in Nairobi that is named for those things, which is something that is not good. And we know these are students. They are not grown-up people. They are students. It's someone's daughter. And you are, I don't know, sometimes umaskini ni kitu mbaya sana, especially the way now the country is going through, and the economy how it is. Yani kukosa pesa ni mbaya, yani ni mbaya sana. Ili ukose kitu ingine lakini usikose pesa na chakula. So Mark, for me, I don't have any other thing. The coming togetherness of these young guys, for me, I still
maybe on this first, on this same, sometimes back we used to see some subjects, the way my brother Kibogong, some moral, subjects like social education, ethics. We are no longer seeing these ones in the new, those who did their
Mark,
primary.
can you check your network, Mark? Inakatika your network.
I think it is yours, because from my side I can see mine iko sawa.
Okay.
I think it is yours, yeah. So I'm just asking you that, when we were growing up, I didn't do things to do with science, social education, life skills. I think those subjects were teaching people on how to live with one another. They were helping someone morally, grow, having some decent, moral lives. I don't know whether you
Sure.
you had.
I get
So
you.
you
I
did.
get you. I get you.
I don't know.
What you're saying.
Did you do those subjects? And along the way, while is it all? And my question is, do you really think it was good? Should they bring them back? Because mtu kama mimi sikufanya hizi ma social education, home science,
Are you there? Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yes, proceed.
Those subjects, Mark, they are the best. In fact, during our days in school, our school, when they are closing, they used to reward who was the best student, number one, anapewa zawadi yake hapo. 1, 2, 3, hivyo hivyo wanapewa zawadi. Then we come down to subjects. Who was the best in mathematics, anapewa nini? Home science, anapewa nini? That is it. And the home science was the subject, I think it was teaching us a lot. And even science itself. Science was classified into, I don't know. So, hata ile kupewa zawadi on that subject, you will have gotten something, you have understood something. Only that now, in Africa, or let me say in Kenya, the subject that the body of a human being undergoes, it will start deeply. It will be studied deeply, very deeply. When it's like going to Form 1, that is now when we come to biology. Man or a woman, changes now start taking place. And that one is explained in biology. Where for me, it can be a very technical subject, yes, start in primary, but through this education that they have said, I heard what something ya sahi masomo ya sahi sijui class 6 ni secondary ya ngapi. We can introduce that subject there because that is now the time our children's they are undergoing adolescence and changes are coming in. I need to be explained that this and this will take place. This and this will take place. Rather than going to Form 1 after 8 years, when that person now is missed a lot of things. So even things take place in their body, they don't know. They don't know what to do, precaution to take. They don't know. Like back, I was so much wondering when I arrived this place because I didn't know. I saw some things. Western culture, in Western culture. To like it, I've come to like that Western culture because I to my daughter or my son, my daughter or my son, should be allowed. Mkono pale ajue kweli huyu ni babangu huyu, and it's only my we to say hi, adding me, our children, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? But for that, tuisi ongelesha napea mkono tu hivi. We don't bring our children to get close to us. Say that mtoto akiwa karibu na wewe ako na ile freedom kueleza baba anataka hivi na hivi. No. Some of us, even we are brought up in an environment where the family was so inhuman, like animosity. You know, ule mzee wa kijiji ule anakunywa busta, ukimwona ndio ule anakuja jioni, unajipanga kuepa juu haina kulikuwa na makosa hana, unalimwa tu bure, unaletwa na ile upendo ya wazazi ile, ama ile upendo inaitwa paternal love and maternal love. We miss those things. That's why even some of us we survived through the grace of God until where we are, where we have now come to see the world that this is how you should treat your family. This is how I should treat my mother. This is how I should treat my father, my kid, my son, my daughter. No. Show them that love so that if there is any problem, a child will be free to tell you, but not going to somebody else. Right, Mark? when we are taking our children to boarding schools, maybe for one, they are joining for one. In my culture or in my own home, my daughter has to go with my wife shopping. Yes, because of the reasons you understand, no problem. But if the mother is not there and she has to go to school, or something else that need the mother to attend happens, and she's not there, and the one who is there, who is supposed to attend that thing? Should I call a woman from outside who is my neighbor to come and attend on my daughter because the mother is not around? Yet she is my daughter. I cannot. Iache ikuwe aibu ama ikuwe nini, but because I know hii ni damu yangu, I'll help my daughter the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, tunaogopa sana kuenda shopping pale kununulia watoto zile vitu unajua, especially wasichana. We have to change how we get things. It is not because they are sick. It is not because it is a problem to them. No, it is what is supposed to happen in their bodies, and we should accept the way it is and move on like that. Hata huyo mtoto unakataa kumwonyesha kwa sababu ni mtoto wako, sijui nini, hata yeye atakuwa na watoto wake. Usipomwonyesha hapa, atatreat wake namna. These are the things, Kevin Abula, that sometimes I like even our MPs. The other day you saw one of them. She went to parliament. I guess it was not a 20 days period or whatever, to show the people in parliament, or to show the members of parliament that our children, the culture is more important. Even the boy child is also more important.
Captain, can you hear me?
We have to teach our boys.
Captain, what a minute, kindly. Can you hear me? Captain Kip, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, but I don't know if you maybe you
very
can.
Well.
We can hear you, but you are breaking.
Let me exit and come in.
Yes, kindly. Yes, to our viewers. Okay, thank you. To our viewers, Douglas Kibogong, thanks for your consistent engagement at the comment section. Thank you so much. I can see there are positive feedback and engagement from Gypsy Corner. Douglas is saying that don't confuse polygamy with adultery. We accept that. And he's also saying morals. Those days we had subject called social education and ethics. And that is the question I was asking my friend here, Mr. Captain Kip. Because when we were growing up, we had these subjects like social education. Along the way, they just disappeared. I don't know whether CBC has brought it back. I'm not so much aware of what CBC is teaching. Yeah, so I can also see Douglas is saying that Eldoret University was Koilel campus. I schooled there. Okay, that's nice, Douglas. Yes, it's also saying that one day you will dedicate the show to the role of boarding schools in early school years. In early school years, have contributed to the current situation of behavior. Yeah, maybe Douglas, if you have time, one of these days we can give you a chance. You take us through, being that you've said here that ulifundisha in one of these colleges. I think you have a good, you had a good interaction with the students, and maybe if you get time, we can give you a chance. We have that discussion, because more of what we always do here is to educate the people and to share, so that when we share, people, our viewers, and everyone, we get to learn how we should handle these cases. Yeah. So, Captain, you are saying something. I think now I can see you clearly. Not the other time
You
you
can
were
hear me
breaking.
now. I don't know if I'm audible now.
Yes, you are. You are. We can hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to say that because of this thing of killings of young Gen Zs, maybe in schools and all whatever, that what attributed to these things is poverty. And now we teach our children. Our children, especially the girl child, we are not, when they go to boarding schools, we are not providing them all the basic needs that they are needed. That is why somebody can come in and manipulate the child in a very negative way. The way Douglas Kibogom, you had put on the comment section there, what the other principals they were doing when you were once a teacher in some school in Kenya. What leads to these things is we are ourselves not educating our children on how to be handled. We are so much arrogant to our children in such a manner that our children, they fear some of us. I say that maybe at a point of view of maybe even some of us, how we were brought up. Some of us, our parents, maybe they were so, that's animosity. They show had a lot of animosity, whereby at this generation that we are now, we don't have to show these children a lot of animosity. We bring them together. Some of the things that when we came out of the country, we see these people, they treat their children is totally 100% different for now we do it in Kenya. That is why in countries, a child can go to school with his phone or a phone. And you are not releasing the child from school before he calls for the car to come and pick to go home. I'm not saying in the media we should allow our children in Kenya to have telephone in school, but as an they are free. The phone is both from home, but not by the boyfriend, not by the girlfriend. I'm just getting all the business from the parent, and that is why there is a very good performance from the child. We expect a child to perform, but the child anything. Let's show our children that love. Let's not be our children salamu sa animosity ile arrogant sana. Salamia mtoto. Salamia mtoto, Baba, are you good? Everything's, how have you been? I'm not been for long. Any distance, any word? Tunayo muda. Wala anapita pale unamtania tu. Unajipata sana, habari yako mzuri tosha. Ujui akuna shida gani? Dago na problem anataka kukwambia. Labda kuna ngo hata alikuwa harao anataka kukwambia. Naogopa jinsi ya kukwambia. That is how we deal in most of our families. And those are the things that are now arising when this king of Africa such things happen because it's not that very close to the family. I think you saw the match of the guy. Very beautiful, very beautiful. But because they know that much love, maybe this guy is invested on outside. Why? What's happening is happening. But guys, let's have education for our children from home. Let's not give everything to the teachers. Also, let's say charity begins at home. We start from home. We start from home. Having a friend is not a problem. Having a friend who is even
what would you say about this comment from our good friend Douglas Kibogong? I have seen here in Australia as early as age 13, your daughter or son starts to introduce the parent to his or her boyfriend. Openness is what is required. You get to guide them to take care of themselves.
Yes, in fact, Mark, what you are putting, I was trying to say that having a friend of the opposite sex is not a problem. All of us, we are friends. Ask your child, is this your friend? Okay. Which kind of a friend is this? He will explain to you. Okay. So now, do you know much about your life after some 5 years hapo mbele? Unajua maisha yako it will be out. I know, or kama ajui unamweleza, unamleta polepole. No, because you can choose a friend, but you can not choose a neighbor. That's what I know. But this friend is choosing. Is he or she the best? So leta mtoto polepole. Akileta marafiki zake ni sawa. Hata zamani sisi wengine hata tulikuwa tunaenda kwa rafiki yangu msichana naenda kuomba maji ya kunywa. Not that because they didn't know that I'm maybe something else. They knew. But I know when I disappeared from there, it will be war. Huyu wako anakuja kukunywa maji. Hii hata saa hii mvua yote hii jamaa amekuja kuomba maji na inanyesha. Unaona? Those are some of the things that we need to consider. Unaenda kuomba maji ya kunywa, hauna simu, hauna barua ulituma, anajua lazima saa ngapi. Unasema wacha niende nijifanye na nimekuja kuomba maji ya kunywa. Nilikuwa nachunga ng'ombe hapa. Yeye ashajua ndio huyo niko area. Huyo amefika ile place. You see. So let kukunywa maji kwenye ukunywa maji. Si ya kwenda kuharibu ya mtoto mwingine. So I was saying Mark that huyo mtoto wako ukimleta na tabia mzuri na kwa atakuwa na rafiki wazuri, hapo baadaye hata watoto wake maisha itakuwa imeenda mzuri. No. Let's not be so inhuman to our children. Let's not be arrogant to our children. Let's be close together. And all these things we will avoid. Education is education. Kusomea Eldoret University, kusomea Moi University, all are the same. No. This thing of going for leisure is not good. But it is okay to refresh your mind. But sometimes try to limit. I know they hear me. They can hear me. You have to limit. And they choose their friends wisely. So from there, man.
Okay, so maybe I think we're just remaining with you give us your final thoughts as we close. Douglas is saying, keep encouraging a daughter is a friend to the father.
Yeah, exactly. That is how it is. Wherever akiniona pale kwa gate nimefika, she's the one to run for me. The first one. Na kuja na nirukia kabisa mpaka kwa kifua hapa. Ananiambia Ango alikuja. Kuja juzi hapa Ango kaleta nini? Unaona? Some of us, the women, again, encouraging women, they don't like daughters so much. Because they know the information in Africa.
Okay.
So you are closing. What next?
Yeah,
because we still have another.
Unless we have some topics, but I think we've exhausted.
I think we have to close because for me, I have to go somewhere very early. I had the phone. You know, the bookings on the phone. You had me told to go somewhere. Let's see as per the topic. Let's see these guys if they are going to make a political coalition. Babu Owino, Ndindi Nyoro, Mchomba, all those ones. Edwin Sifuna, wherever, as long as they have a good thing for the people of Kenya, we'll agree on them. The only thing that we need now, tunataka stima watu shuke chini.
The cost, just to tell you
na
something.
Chakula ishuke chini. Not chakula, yes, generally ishuke chini. Unga, sukari
Allow me to comment something on what I've noticed in the cost of power. You know, one token is 25 shillings currently. That's too much. That's a lot of money. If you buy a token of 50 shillings, I think
Nilikiwacha
you get
ikiwa shilingi
two,
8.
you
Ilikuwa
get
8.
two units. With 100 shillings, you get 4 units, and that 4 units, I'm telling you, it cannot even last you for 1 week. I don't know what they did. Since that time, they told us to do an upgrade of the meters, the token, whatever. I'm telling you, the cost.
Ukisikia tu wana upgrade meter, ukisikia tu wana upgrade meter, jua hiyo wanafinya. Sio ku upgrade, ni kufinya.
Okay.
You know what, Mark? The other day you've been here in the other platforms also, and also I think you have talked about it here, that the thing that influences everything is electricity and fuel in Kenya. Production in industries wanatumia stima. Now moving the parts of the factory, machines and all whatever. Hiyo yote ikipanda juu, obvious maisha ikipanda juu. Yule landlord anakupatia nyumba, unakuja unamuuliza, where does the rent and the cost of fuel come together? Because this landlord has machine, anategemea kwa hii pesa ya rent kuiservice kama gari yake, mafuta imepanda juu, hawezi kulipisha ile bei ya chini. You know, sometimes we fail to understand, because I used to refuse that yes, kwa mafuta imeongezwa na unakuja kuongeza bei ya nyumba, inaendana aje? It affect, itaitwa cross cutting. Ina cross cut everywhere in life, in general life. Some places they invest in subsidizing the not education, what you call electricity. Because in some place where am I right now is that they use greenhouses, and you know, greenhouse they use electricity, cost, like spraying all those things, lighting, hizo chakula inamea. That's why wakaweka bei ya stima chini, ndio chakula kwao isikue pesa mingi. Angalia inji kama Waarabu. They don't have, hakuna mahali hata inanyesha mara ngapi, lakini huwezi sikia wako na food shortage. Some countries here in Middle East, changarawe yao ni sio ile fertile, but they rely on greenhouses because of the cost of production that has been lower, and they don't have food shortage. Even in China, wako wangapi hao watu? Hao watu ni kama siafu kwa street, no food shortage. Isikue kwamba Opiyo Wandayi yako minister of energy hapo. Tuko na Murkomen minister wa sports. Tuko na nani tena minister wa nini? Unaenda pale unaanza kucreate vitu zingine kujitajirisha wewe mwenyewe. Bro. We need to be serious on that.
Okay. Thank you, Kip. Before we close, there's a question here. Douglas is saying that before we close, we should talk about Harris and Trump. We'll give our comment. Allow me to say thank you to Gypsy Corner. Gypsy saying, from me to you for your token, please accept it. Thank you, Gypsy Corner. Well accepted with thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks for your I've accepted it. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Let me say also, Gypsy Corner, thank you very much, bro, because anywhere I've been seeing you are so much jovial, you are so much contributing. You take a lot of time typing. It's not that you don't have something to do. No, you take your own time. Thank you for what you have offered to Mark, and also thank you for your time, because it is not easy to have you all this time being on phone or being on your laptop. typing. It's not easy. We really appreciate you for that. I really appreciate your Gypsy Corner. You greet me when I came. I received your greetings. So thank you so much.
Okay,
For
thank you
I'm
so
also for
much.
Kamala. I think even you've been seeing my status, Mark. Me, I'm for Kamala. Let's hope for the best for her. Let's hope for the best.
Okay, so let me say something by the about our friends, especially our friends who are not within the country, especially the late shows. They've been very supportive. We really appreciate. You know, in Kenya saizi kupata mtu bado anachukua wakati wake and they're planning for tomorrow, it's not easy for them. I am taking this opportunity to really thank our supporters who are not within. They've taken their time just because for the love of the country. They are always with us and they are eager. They want to know what is happening in the country. And from our side, we are simply saying that whenever we get time, we'll try to tell you what is happening and to share with you what is really on the ground. This is our country. It belongs to us and we need to know what is happening. Thank you so much. Everyone, especially our friends who are not within, we really appreciate. We don't take it for granted. To Douglas is saying, BBM, put your contacts somewhere. Okay, thank you. We'll put it in the YouTube channel. You'll be finding it there. There is the contact and the email address. We really appreciate. So before maybe we close, you want maybe I should give my opinion on that. I mean, Harris and Kamala Harris and Trump. The elections that is going on in the US. I think we started with that, and my opinion is, you know, the politics of the United States of America. You know, it's you know, it's a very serious election that defines so much, especially in the world. You know, America has this a special place in the world. Most of they're the superpowers or something like that. So when they're having elections, the world is always very keen on it. And what we are doing over here is we're just praying for them so that they have a peaceful election. And, you know, for the two main contestants, that is Trump and Kamala, I think, do I really have a do I really have a favorite? I think I like both of them. I like Kamala. She's a strong woman who has shown to the world that the ladies are also capable. She has shown to the world that you know, the women or the ladies are not supposed to be limited. They have the same capability as men, and you know, they also say that what a man can do, a woman can do better. So from where I sit, I wish her all the best. And to Mr. Trump, to me, is also a good gentleman. While he was the president of the United States of America, I think he did well. He did well, and partly we got to learn so many things from him. And you know, those days he's a dramatist person, and you know, the people of the world get to know about the United States of America. He somehow sell or advertised the United States of America. So they're both great leaders, and we wish them all the best. And let's wait and see. It's let's the Americans decide. Maybe tomorrow when we'll be starting the show, Benson will tell us, because we've sent him on the ground as BBM channel to capture all the information that is required. and he'll be reporting to us over here tomorrow. He'll give us that feedback and what would have happened by tomorrow. Douglas is saying Pennsylvania is Mount Kenya of US. Swing states, Nyanza. Western, Northeastern is the blue wall. Okay. Kamala will let the people down like Obama. Okay. Trump negotiated with North Korea. No one did. Okay. So the mixed, of course, the mixed reaction. Keep tuambie yako ya mwisho kuhusu hii mambo ya Amerika kabla tufunge. It's an interesting.
Unajua Kibogong Kibogong amesema Pennsylvania ndio mlima huko. So who is the owner of this mulima between the two, between Kamala and Trump?
Maybe you should tell
And
us.
in general, the way I see, even me, I'm for Kamala, yes, but this guy will take it. Trump will take it.
It is not very easy for Mr. Trump, as I was actually checking.
It is not a walk in a park, but he will take it.
Yeah, this is
unless the election in US is so much different that somebody might be leading on votes, but when it comes to states and college votes or college votes, it's something college vote.
Yes.
Election in America is something
that is what determines.
Yeah.
So I think from what I've seen so far, I think the race is a tight one. And
it's a very tight one.
Yeah, so ours is to just wait and see, let the electoral body do their part, and we also wish them good, and we hope they get us or they give us a good president, because America is it's a country that they have influence in the world. So if they have a president who is making decisions which are not really welcomed by the world, then it affects so many things. So we wish them all the best. Gypsy Corner is saying, keep Trump will stop the war. He will not fund the bullets. Okay.
Which war? And war is now in Lebanon. Lebanon, they are fighting now with Netanyahu.
I think Gypsy Corner is supporting Trump, and Douglas Kibogong is supporting Harris. You've also declared that you're supporting Harris.
Yeah, I'm supporting Harris to the bitter hand, even not hand alone, to the bitter hand.
I think May should abstain. Yeah, I should not take a stand because I'm the host.
50-50.
Oh yes, Douglas is saying the college votes in Kenya comes
now,
together.
Mark, the war.
Yes.
This war now in Middle East.
Yes.
And very soon, I don't know. There is an even travel advisory from UK that their people should avoid going to Gulf countries, Middle East, all of it. That there is some chance of war that will take place between Israel and all whatever. Will Trump stop this war? Because I know even the war that is taking place right now, even the US are the main contributors.
Okay, from how I've been seeing things, I even think that the war that was there between the Ukraine and Russia, Trump is a funny guy. He's always made stands which are not very much welcomed by the people. But sometimes I like his moves because when people are fighting and then you fail to give them too much attention, or you do something that is not expected, automatically it confuses people. And even the planners of that war, they have to regroup and rethink again. We've seen him make such kind of moves sometimes back. So people have different view, and American politics actually let the Americans and you can give opinion. I think we should host Mr. Benson here to come and clarify for us the American politics, and those are our friends who are also in America. They should at
Yeah, I
least
think
give
we can
us.
do somebody like Benson. Benson is okay, but hosting somebody like Musalendo, the other day I tell Musalendo, can you make sure you go to where was William Ruto going to meet the Kenyans in America? Oh, I could not waste my time to go there. Oh, they will not even give me a chance. Why? Why are you not going there? Then you'll be denied that chance. Go get the denial, then you will know that they denied you. So we need to bring the people who can tell us the truth. Bring the people like Obama, even though I see some people they are criticizing Obama in a way, who can stand.
Okay. Captain, I think your network is not stable. Yes, so to our viewers, this is for the BENSON Media. I want to.
My network is throwing me away.
Yeah, I think you said something to MIGUDA that he has invested in a chart, but not the internet. Now I think we should also tell you the same.
No,
Yeah, so
my internet is okay because I see even on my phone it's working well.
I don't know whether it's on my side, but I think my side is okay. Keep Mzalendo is acting like
that is I see a comment from Gypsy Corner there. And
it's undecided vote. As a host, I have to I don't have to take take a stand in a public platform. Okay, yeah. So I think we've had a good conversation. We've gotten to learn so many things, and I think it's a good thing that we are doing because talking about issues which are affecting the people, it's a good thing. We influence. We what we do here is we're trying to reach out. We're trying to educate. We're trying to spread the information. And to me, I believe that.
Mark, there is one thing you people you need to be serious on it because sometimes for me I see it it's not worthy at all that I've been in this platform of yours.
Yes.
And I've never seen a lady or a woman here. It's only men.
Imagine.
I don't know.
We've tried inviting ladies. I gave a chance to our good friend who was at the comment section, Betseba. There's also Betseba and Wari. I think alikubali atakuja, and then there are two more walikubali. So they have not confirmed. I gave them my contact. I'm simply waiting for them to confirm which day they're comfortable. Na hiyo siku itakuwa siku ya wanadada, na hiyo siku usikuje ukwe tu kwa comment section.
We need to balance this gender. We need to balance this gender because we don't want them when I come to Kenya to go for presidency, they'll tell me they are not voting me, they are voting for a woman, and he has never been here with us. Because for me, I'll be there. I'll come there and I'll go for presidency. That position is not for somebody. It's for all Kenya.
I like that spirit. I'm also planning.
When you are always on the show like this, keep on sharing the link. Keep on sharing the link. Not just telling us thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching. Weka link. Thank you for watching. Weka link.
Sometimes the reason why I tend to forget is, we sometimes pick a conversation that had already started. And that is why, when I get to a show and it had started, I simply forget that I am supposed to. But you have my contact.
platform can take 10 people at once.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe
I
some
know.
people they want.
I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying that sometimes I come, like today, I came when it was already 1 hour, and when I joined, I simply forget about that. So you have my contact. Just remind me at the Nini, and I will do that
Okay, no
immediately.
problem.
Yes.
Gypsy Corner is asking me to bring Tuni, but Tuni is one of those people who they don't want their sound to be heard. They don't want their faces maybe to be seen because maybe wako na ndevu chafu kama zangu, lakini yeye ni madam ana ndevu na labda hizo vitu zao wanajipaka sijui. So some people they have their own privacy that we cannot interfere with it.
Kindly
If they
with
are
the drop.
comfortable in comment section, it's their choice.
Kindly
They want to
with
come
the
to
drop.
the platform like me, it's my own choice. You see?
Keep kindly withdraw that description. Keep you are requested to kindly withdraw that description. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think he's having a network problem. Yeah. To everyone who joined, I'm taking this opportunity to thank you so much. We hope that you'll join again. And we are very appreciative. Captain, someone just said that you withdraw the the description that you just that you just shared.
Which one?
Anyway, the description
No,
you just described.
I said this. Listen, I said this. Listen to me. Let me put it very clear. I say Gypsy Corner is asking me to bring Tuni in. Where I'm telling her, I tell him that I don't. Yeah, maybe he's in. I'm telling him that for me, I cannot bring Tuni. Maybe Tuni is comfortable on writing at the comment section. Some of the people, they cannot come to the platform. Labda wako na ndevu chafu chafu kama zangu, ama kama ni wanawake wanaweka zile vitu zao, naona. So
Okay,
people are comfortable in comment section when somebody is comfortable there. For me, I'm comfortable to come in the platform to be seen like this. That is how I say it. I didn't say anything that is negative to it. Yes.
Clarified. That's okay. Would you mind closing, giving us
Close,
the last
close.
comment
No,
as we
I want
close?
to do some things in the kitchen. Close.
It's okay. So do this. You wish before you go, Captain Keep.
Yes.
Can you tell us the last wordings as we close? I'm not going to
Of
speak.
what?
I'm closing with your. I mean, tell us about this channel and that, and then we close.
Okay, good, very good. I've told you what I don't know. You guys, you come here, you don't share this.
We can't see you. Just come on the screen. Captain, unatuangusha. Anyway, to everyone who joined, thanks so much. We appreciate Gypsy Corner, asante sana. Douglas Kibogong, thank you so much. And everyone who participated at the comment section, we don't take it for granted. We are very much thankful. And we say thank you wherever you are. Allow me to wish you a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening until tomorrow. Thank you so much, and we hope that you'll join us. Sante sana, and bye bye.